I can put that
Yeah, 5-4, we're live.
Yeah, that was the countdown.
5, 4, live. Get out, you're on stage. Get on there. Oh, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual, where we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. I'm one of your hosts, Noir.
I'm the other host, Anita. Hi.
And today we have our very special guest, NurD.
Hello, everyone. I also don't know what I'm doing, so this is great. It's just a whole bunch of...
It's just going to be a clusterfuck.
One thing we didn't actually mention to you is this show has absolutely no format and only like 3 segments that we plan out ahead of time.
I love that.
So most of it's like free form. We just bullshit for a couple hours.
I didn't even ask, actually. You said, do you want to talk about TTRPGs? And I said, yeah. No follow-ups, no clarifiers. Yeah, sure. And I'm always down to do that.
I'm glad there was no follow-ups because we would not have been prepared.
like we got him. Another one. As soon as they asked, oh, what are we going to talk about? Click. Hang up. Click. No.
I'll just ghost
There were two moments where I knew I needed to get you on the show. The first one is you did a cover of, you did a remix of a Bo Burnham song about BLM, and that hit me in my soul like real hard. It was so good.
Hey, thank you very much.
Oh, I loved it. And then the second time was I was accidentally to 3 white guys in Gen Con, and I had no idea. They were just like, oh man, we just saw you. It was like fantastic. I'm like, I'm thinking they just saw Morning Ritual live.
That's so funny.
So I'm like, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. They're just like, yo, do you have an album out? I'm like, I didn't mention being a musician. How
do you know this?
I don't have one, but like, yo, I'm glad that you're a fan. Glad that you like the music. They're just like, we bought your Bullet Club shirt, and then I was just like, wait, what?
Like now I'm feeling so.
We have merch, but like. We didn't
by
have any
far
for sale.
The best thing I have ever heard. Period. I have heard the laughs of my baby nieces, and I would throw them in the bin to hear that story for the first time again. Oh my goodness!
I had no idea they thought I was you until the very end, and it deflated me. But it was like one of those moments. It was one of those moments where I was just like, it's too late now. I gotta be nerdy.
I'm nerdy until this conversation ends and I can get out of here. I am this man. Oh, that's so funny. Because you're trapped. Ooh, that moment. For those of you who don't know, if you're a black person and you're mistaken for another black person, in that moment, you have so many layers that you have to deal with. You're like, I take what you're feeling about that away for a minute because these people are being genuine and being very kind. So then you're like,
so excited to meet you.
You don't want to ruin this day. You don't want to ruin their day.
It's like the best experience of their life to them. You don't want to take that away.
And so you have to pretend like I don't know enough about this man to answer any questions that they might ask. So how do I get through this? How do I get through this?
Did they ask you for an autograph?
That's
No, I'm so glad they did. But like when they brought up the Bullet Club shirt, I was just like, yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan.
Oh, that's so funny.
Every part of me is just like, I hope at least one of those guys sees.
No. Oh my goodness. Gen Con was such a fun experience, and that makes it so much better on the back end for me. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Your show was amazing. And everything I've been waiting to tell you that story, dog.
That's so wow. Oh man. That's just I'm gonna tell my DJ, like that is so funny. Oh man, I
mean, it was humbling. It was humbling because I was feeling myself during
yeah,
Gen Con. I was like,
hey.
yeah, you know what I'm doing? Three white guys, just
that's
so well-meaning, so not trying to be like.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh man, that's the best. That is the best. Oh. I just because what do you do? Like I'm thinking like how not that that's you can't.
Listen, NurD, I really like your work on Morning Ritual.
Yeah, like if someone had said that to me, I'd be like, oh, hey, because you're in it. Because okay, and everybody of this podcast knows like how you interact with fans is like you immediately assume that it's a positive interaction and you want to do it, but you know what I mean? Like even if you don't recognize them, you or whatever, you gotta be like smile. You gotta like, oh yes, it's very improv. It's very yes and. So you're sitting there going like and then you realize, wait a minute, they're not talking about me.
I was too deep in the conversation to like be like, oh no, I'm not that guy, because I had already given them so many answers to questions. And
oh man.
So yeah, to those guys, NurD, he knows about you now. I did the best I could.
I held your secret for so long. Oh, that's so great. I hope they do. I hope they see me, because I'm planning on being on Gen Con again this year. I hope that they see me and then assume that I'm pretending to be you, and like they have just decided that you're NurD, and they're going to come to me and be like, you're not him. You're that guy from Morning Ritual. Why are you pretending to be NurD?
It's just like they can never tell us apart.
Yeah, oh my goodness. When can I call you to help get my parents back together? Like, what's the situation? How do we parent trap? Like,
I'm ready to go. I've been ready to Lindsay Lohan since the beginning.
Yes, like, how are we going to do this?
Oh, hey, Raiders, thank you for joining.
Oh, no.
But I do have to ask, like, Gen Con, like before we got Gen Con, that is major. Like how, like man,
it was fantastic. It was so yeah. They just actually, it was just an email. I think I love doing music. I love doing music for a living, and everyone always asks me like, oh, every time I do like a big thing, they're like, how did you get there? Like, and there's a lot of times there is no big story. Somebody cold emails out of the blue, and then you just go. Like it really is that simple. I think because I had done a couple things for so 2 years ago now. The Double Clicks, I don't know if you know of the Double Clicks artists. The Double Clicks, fantastic group. They had asked me to jump on a live stream for the Gen Con that was taking place over like during the pandemic, like the stricter part of the pandemic, because it's not like that's done, but like the stricter part of the pandemic where no one could leave the house. So we did a live stream thing. So it was me, Kadesh Flow, the Double Clicks, and so I did that one. And then I think because of that show, someone just emailed me from Gen Con, was like, hey, we're doing it in person this year. Did you want to come? And I said, yes, I'd love to do that. And then, oh my goodness, it was a blast. It was so much fun. I bought so many games. I basically just took the check that they gave me for the performance and just like handed it right back to everybody that was there. I literally just was like, oh, thank you. All right, I'll take all of the games, please. Thank you very much.
It'll be good for the economy.
It'll be good for the economy. Exactly.
It's good for the economy. Doesn't hurt anybody.
No, it hurt anybody. I was living the life. I shout out to Super Card Showdown, a professional wrestling card game
Yes.
that I got. And me and my DJ were like, all right, we're going to start the Minnesota chapter of this game because it wasn't that far. It wasn't over in Minnesota yet. And we've never played it again. But I think about it all the time. I have it. I carry the cards with me in my gig bag on the off chance somebody else plays the game and I can whip them out and like be like, oh, you want to play? Like, I got you. It's time to rule. And I'm going to throw it on the ground. Like, people don't know me. I like roll.
Yo, I ran into them at PAX. They had the announcer like the crazy like
yes.
Oh my! I love that game. You can, like they have a belt in a league. You can
it's
play.
So much. It's the coolest thing.
So good.
And like
it's so good.
Me and my DJ, we've been saying like, yo, we're excited to go back to Gen Con specifically so we can play that game again. Like we are going to come back and be like, you remember us? We've had a whole year. We know how to play now.
Oh, like they have competitions where you can be like make yourself. So sorry, we're geeking out. The way that this works. Out. The way that this works is like you pick a wrestler and that wrestler has a deck of moves that they can do. This company has competitions where you can make yourself the wrestler and a deck for you. And like I want that more than anything.
That's all I've ever wanted in my life.
Right?
Right?
Ever since I saw a holographic Charizard way back in the day and said to myself, how cool would it be to be on a trading card? To know that
I had some of the WWF trading cards that they released back in the day. I was just like between those and the Marvel trading cards.
I remember those. Those cards were the old Wikipedia.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
Like that's how I knew about who everybody was and everybody did. Even if I couldn't find a comic of them, like I'd be like Dark Star. I'm like, okay, well, who's Dark Star? I turn it over. It's like Dark Star is from. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, no, throw it away.
I used those cards to settle so many arguments because they had the power scale on the back, like Cyclops could never be, and I'm like, bam! What you saying?
Well, that's the thing is like I to this day I actually have 3 of them in my wallet.
I love that.
I have Phoenix, I have Scarlet Witch, and I have Silver Sable.
Ooh. Oh no. Yo, am I allowed to talk about Scarlet Witch? Am I allowed to talk about that?
Absolutely.
I know it's not TTRPG related.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, we can talk about whatever. It's a TTRPG show,
on that
but
card
we rarely...
is so supremely underpowered, it's ridiculous.
Yes. They usually downplay Scarlet Witch. And here's the thing. All right, Multiverse of Madness is coming out. And if anybody knows me, all of you lovely people listening to The Morning Ritual, if you know who I am, you know that I do not pull punches with my heroes. I hold people accountable. I've been saying that Tony Stark is a menace from day one. He is the poster child of billionaires do whatever they want to whoever they want all day with no consequences.
And I don't know if you've watched the original Iron Man movie recently, but it's problematic. Bro.
It's problematic. Dude just flies to the Middle East and starts killing people, and we're all cool with it because they look scary. I get like, you know what I mean? Like he's just a billionaire who's doing whatever he wants to whoever he wants. So you know, I keep
really
it.
What would happen if Elon Musk had a
like a super suit? You know what I mean? And then Steve Rogers, same situation. Hey, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. The rest of the world's feeling real uncomfortable. All you guys with like basically nukes on your arms, running around and doing whatever you want. Maybe you guys have a meeting quick before you show up in their country and just blow people up. And then Steve was like, no, I don't want to, which is very much a white man from the 40s response. And he decides to try and kill his friends over that. A bunch of countries, democratically elected people groups, made legislation and said, hey, would you follow that? And he says, no, I don't want to. And it goes ahead. So when I say what I'm about to say, no, I keep the same energy. All right? Because people get real weird. Scarlet Witch in the MCU is a straight up villain. Like, she is a villain. She is a villain. We
She's
first see her.
criminal.
Yeah, she starts off with Ultron, like helping him, like willingly, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna kill everybody. Oh no, I just wanted to kill this one guy and everybody he liked, so maybe I'll switch sides. And then she switches sides, and the first thing we see her do is blow up a bunch of black people in Lagos. She just blows them up, like she just does it, and like and it was an accident. It was an accident, but she killed a bunch of Wakandans, which was the whole reason for that conflict in the first place. So she's all sad that she's on house arrest, which is getting off real easy if you ask me. And then her husband dies in Infinity War, or her boyfriend or whatever, and it's super sad. And like, don't get me wrong, the Vision death was very sad, completely preventable, mind you, but incredibly sad. And, okay, you know what I mean? Like, okay,
he's a robot, fam. I'm sorry. I know that makes me feel like
I think that Vision is Vision. First of all, Vision is black, in my opinion. Vision is black. He's made out of vibranium, which means he was stolen from Africa. He was stolen from Africa, created by white people in order to make their lives easier.
They took Vishon.
Yep, is worthy of holding the hammer just by his nature. I say that's blackness to a T. So, am I sad that a black man died? 100% always. But then she goes and enslaves a town because she's so sad, putting them in constant pain. Like they say, she's in my head. I am in constant pain. It hurts every second of this. They're screaming inside. That girl begs her if she could just write her child into the storyline. You kept her sitting upstairs. They don't even know where their children are. They're like in stasis. It's the creepiest thing. And then everyone's just like, oh, but she's a hero. And I'm just like, no. Nah, because if I was that black guy in Westview and I'm enslaved, she's changing their clothes, people. Like, that's creepy and gross. Like, she's physically touching their bodies without their consent for days because she's sad. Like, that's the reasoning? What? A lot of people are sad. Half the world got blipped away. What are you talking about? And then she just flies away. And then she just flies away to a cabin.
Right now.
Yeah, like what? Did you not watch the beginning of Endgame? People are sad. They're wives, their children, like gone for 5 years. And they come back and people are dead. Monica's mom died in the interim. Like, there are people who lost people. I was just like,
I am here for this. I am here for every part of this.
All I have to say is that, like, Wanda is the weapon. She is the Karen to my MCU. Like, she's the woman who wants to do this horrible thing, and then when someone says, "Hey, why are you doing that?" She goes,
I had a black boyfriend.
Yes, that is the response. Yo, my boyfriend was black, and I was really sad that he got killed. And also, that's what it was. And like, I get it, but we've all known that girl, and that's what it. And so I said that on TikTok, mind you, and that was a problem. That was unfortunate because I got people being like, well, what about? I call it Wandaboutism as opposed to whataboutism. Anytime anyone criticizes that show, I love the show. First of all, don't get it twisted. I enjoyed the program. I thought it was great. I was like, wow, this is scary and like sad. Like, I felt bad for Fake Vision because I was like, yo, you don't even know that you've been like your entire self.
Him learning all that stuff was heartbreaking.
It was super sad. So it was a good show. The kids, the little fake but not fake real kids, like that was sad and stuff. So all of that, great show. I thought it was gonna end with her like being like, and now I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen what was it? Miss Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
Yeah.
You know, at the end, where it's not like he's not the hero at the end. Like he's
the ultimate bad guy.
He's the ultimate bad guy. Like, and he's sad about it. Like in a weird way. But he's like, I got everything I ever wanted. You know what I mean? I thought that's how they were gonna end the show because like it was
the pure start to a villain arc.
Yeah, because she was like so clearly the bad guy in the entire situation. Like they try to make the government person seem like the bad guy for wanting to take out this known war criminal who's been giving a second chance at life and has now enslaved an entire town. Like they make him out to be the bad guy of the situation because he's rude to Monica, like a person who he's just like sort of met and like is clearly defying his like actual authority.
Hamish, no.
Like he was given that position fair and square. Like he was like this was his job. And like, yo, I don't, again, like I said, I am not a fan of law enforcement. Anybody who knows me knows that. Laws are a threat by the socioeconomic class. You know, I'll repeat the whole Dimension 20 speech to you. But that being said, he was within his rights to do what he did. And I guarantee you that every single person in that town was like, thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were all like, thank you for freeing us from this. Because she was never going to let them go.
Yo, not only did she enslave them, but she vanished them off the planet. Like
no one could know them. No one knew they were there. They had family calling. Like I was sitting there going, like, really? Their kids were in stasis. Like they're just like sitting there. Is she feeding them for days? We don't know. We assume so, but we don't know that. And then Agatha just tried to take advantage of that situation because she's like, clearly this girl doesn't know what she's doing. I do. You accidentally enslaved an entire town, and now you're just like being weird about it.
That's a good question. Like, did Wanda just make food out of nothing?
Yeah. Yes.
Either she did that, and her ethical responsibility is not to fly away to a cabin, but to like stop world hunger. Or she didn't do that, and there's a bunch of dead kids in Westview because they haven't eaten or drank in 10 days. So we can talk about how Tony Stark's a war criminal. We talk about Druig from the Eternals, who did essentially the same thing for 500 years, albeit without the pain. Albeit without the pain.
God.
But like, yes, like we could talk about him, and we could talk about all the other stuff. Like we could talk about Clint Barton, who got so sad that his family died. He went to go kill people of color for 5 years. Like that's a thing you could say as well. But I feel like the Marvel Universe's main crux is if you upset white people, they will kill and enslave you. So just be careful. Just be careful. You never know. Iron Man was sad about Ultron, and then he's like, I'm going to kill some more people. Like, the whole reason he built Ultron because he was sad. Like, he's just sad. If you're sad, just stay out the way. Stay away from them.
You know what? The only person that got sad and was still very chill was Thor. Like, if you have to be a sad white person, be Thor.
Because what happened when he was sad? When he was sad, his power was taken away from him, and he had to work to get it back. He had to become accountable to like the people he was doing stuff towards. Like
he
that was his story arc.
People even when he was sad, albeit just some guy on Xbox Live.
Yeah,
but he was still.
He's the whole time he was sad. His whole people, he watched all of his people die, and instead of like enslaving a town, because he could have, mind you, he's very strong. They're all very strong. They could have just been like, "Hey, this is ours now," and started killing people, but he didn't. He sat down. Yeah, he sat down and felt his feelings. And maybe if everybody did that, the MCU would be a much safer place. Because it's not safe. It's not safe right now. At any moment, a sad witch could show up at your family function and your kids die of starvation upstairs while you're tap dancing and shucking and jiving to her freaking That 70s Show remake. Like, no.
You know how bad I was that we didn't get a single black sitcom in fucking WandaVision? We couldn't get Living Single.
Nothing.
We couldn't get Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I wanted Everybody Hates Chris. Something. No, it was The Office. Of course it's The Office. Of course you watched The Office. Sokovia doesn't pipe in Martin. Sokovia.
No UPN in Sokovia.
No UPN in Sokovia, man. It's nothing. But that being said, if Marvel, if you're listening, and I know you are, I know Disney has got you guys watching every single podcast on Marvel that mentions you in any way. I would like a WandaVision too. I would watch it if you had more show parodies. Like, that was my favorite part of it. Was like how every episode very much looked like the show that they were like parodying or they were trying to change. I loved that, actually. I thought that was really cool. I would wanted that. I could watch that for like 8 more seasons, honestly. Like, just give me more weird versions of shows that we haven't seen. You can do an animated one, a claymation one. You know what I mean? You could, like, I would have taken it all.
When you say claymation, I instantly think of like Celebrity Deathmatch.
Exactly right. Like,
I miss Celebrity Deathmatch so bad.
Is crazy. And now every time she has a mental breakdown, we get 8 episodes of like cool, animated, like differently themed episodes of her dealing with her sadness.
All right, so I have a theory.
Hit me.
All right, so you know how we're getting the new X-Men cartoon?
Yes, the new 90s. Yeah, they were going from the 90s, yeah.
I think that is our WandaVision 2. Now, hold on. Hold on. I know this sounds wild.
All right, I'm following.
I think that they are going to do the opposite of House of M with the No More Mutants thing.
Ooh.
But she's going to bring the mutants in, and this X-Men show is going to explain how. I know it's a stretch, but it'd be dope.
It would be dope. I thought that they were going to move the new X-Men show into the What If and get people in that way. You know what I mean? Like, because the What If has kind of already been like, hey, look at this weird stuff. And then at the end of the X-Men, the 90s reboot, we're going to see like Uatu up in the sky. And then we're all going to be like, oh, snap. Like, this is just a part of that whole nonsense. Because I actually really liked the What If stuff.
I love the What If.
I wanted them to do more of it. If they did like, and at the end, it was sort of kind of like there's a team being formed, like an alternate dimension team. And so like picking up one of those 90s X-Men characters and bringing them over or something could be super cool. And that's just like how we get some of the mutants.
So here's what's leading me to believe that. Well, first off, in the new Doctor Strange posters, we do see Agent Carter's UK shield in one of the charts. And then the whole Patrick Stewart, like, we got to tell him the truth. Yeah, I think that the grand Illuminati conspiracy in the MCU is that mutants exist. They've just been suppressed or hidden somewhere.
Ooh.
And I think she's going to undo that in a big way.
That's actually pretty great. To that point, because I've been, me personally, I think they should just recast all the mutants and give us a new origin.
Oh God, yes.
Because I think that's probably like the move, because the Foxverse of X-Men is so it's trash. It's so bogged down. But what I think would be a great way to explain that, there's a scene in Captain America: The First Avenger where Steve Rogers goes to do his play, his little, punching Hitler play, out for the troops, literally, who are on the front line, and they like immediately are like quiet and they don't care about him. And then one voice shouts out, "Bring the girls back." And I think that's Logan. I think that voice is a Logan. I think because it is a canon fact that Logan and Steve fought together in World War II. And like I'm thinking of who would shout that out. I'm like, that's Logan.
I want that to be Logan. True. I want that to be true so bad.
And then so when they talk about like mutants have been here this whole time, like then they talk about that, like, yo, mutants have been in World War II. Look at this. Here he is right there. And he's like, for the girls back. And everyone's like, oh snap. And that would just be such a little thing, but it would be I thought about that at the theater when I watched it the first time. So I was like, I can only imagine that that's a cool way to bring everybody in. And it would be awesome if all the mutants were just like there, because it'd be weird, but I feel like we could make it work.
I mean, we did something similar to this in the comic books.
Yeah.
Like what's got me thinking this might be the way that they want to go about it is Sentry. Like Sentry as a character that they invented in 2005, but his whole backstory is he's always been there. He's just so strong that he had to wipe the memory of him away from everybody.
And so from himself, because his existence creates the void.
Yep. So like I'm like, if they do something like that where the mutants have been here, it's just every time they do anything of consequence or we start to
Professor X wipes everybody's memory.
I wouldn't say
maybe
it's something just Professor X could do, but I think the Illuminati could.
Do.
Yeah. Well, also, you know what would make sense is like, yo, half the world got blipped when Hulk brought them back. His specific signature of gamma radiation affected their DNA, meaning that if they had the X gene, they are more likely to develop mutant powers now. Like anyone could be a mutant. So not anybody even people who weren't blipped could be mutants because you have the X gene in you if you just have it. But everybody who was blipped got like a push, which is why suddenly we're seeing people, and it usually evokes out of adolescence, which is why all of a sudden we're seeing a bunch of mutants, like a lot. Yeah. And then Professor X, like you said, would be like something like, yo, mutants have been around for a minute. We've been like keeping the lid on it, but because of this, we can't, it's so big that we're not going to be able to hide it anymore.
Like a mutant baby.
It used to be like once every, couple of years, there'd be something that we'd have to like do, but like, and you guys didn't know about it. But now it's like, yo, this is officially too big. So welcome to the age of X. Like, here it is. Yeah. Like, it's happening.
I mean, and I love that because I've always liked the idea of the X-Men being like mad covert. Like, you just like, and also this kind of plays into like the government has known about these guys. They have been doing some very untoward things towards them because like honestly, if the world knew about, well, I can't say that this day and age, but I was gonna say if the world knew about mutants and somebody did human experimentation on like a Wolverine and he came out and was like, hey, they did this to me, you would think that there'd be some kind of reaction. But then again, I remember the Tuskegee.
Here's the thing.
It's just like
the difference between mutants and all of that stuff is that mutants can be of any race. So if Jean Grey got up on camera, started crying, it was like, I was so sad that people are mean to me because I could read minds. People were like, oh, leave this poor girl alone. She can just read minds.
What you need is you need a white woman spokesperson.
We do. And you gotta have a character who's not scary, but is like it's not scary, and their powers aren't scary, but they're still like pretty enough to be like and white enough to be the face of that. Like you have put up
like you need Kitty Pryde or someone like that.
Yep. Kitty Pryde, her powers aren't scary. She's white and small and cute. And then you bring like somebody like a Bobby Drake, Iceman. Good. Look at this man. And together they're like the Katniss and Peeta of this situation. And they're just walking around like, oh, don't be mean to mutants. Look, I make snow cones. Isn't that fun? Like, don't kill us.
See, but the thing you'd have to consider there is Bobby Drake is LGBTQA+. So like
that's why they use him. That's why they use him. They send Kitty Pryde to the Bible Belt, have her hit all them.
But she's Jewish
though.
Dang it, no. She doesn't. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. You just put that away. You just nah, dude. Yeah, do that. And in fact, you know what? No. Either you don't say that at all. Either you keep that under lock and key, or you go like, because the same people in the Bible Belt. We're getting political today. We're the same people in the Bible Belt. You be like, oh, she is Jewish. Oh, so you don't rock with Israel? And then they go, what? Oh no, of course I do. And then you got it.
That's a good pivot.
That's your judo for that. Like you go like, oh, and then they go, whoa, and then they're back on her side again. So like, yes, you're correct. I wouldn't say that until I needed to, and then we break it out. This is NurD, Marvel's PR consultant. Like that's my job in the world of Marvel. I fix PR. I'm a PR guy. And then you take Bobby Drake to the coasts and the islands because it's like, oh, it's a snow party. Don't hate mutants. And everyone's like, oh, look at this lovely, he's a good looking, like white gay man. You know how people love that. And so like, there you go. He's making snow cones for people, ice slides. Like it's
PR rep.
I'm just saying, those would be the two that I would bring to like tell people that it's like cool to like mutants again. And then if I had to take a third person, you can't pick Wolverine because he's too violent. He kills too many people.
Like I think I would say Storm, but like
Storm would be the one.
Storm don't play no games though. Like
she wouldn't do it though. Storm wouldn't do it, and that's why you wouldn't do it.
Well, here's the thing. I think if you play your cards right, white people would treat Storm like Beyonce.
Yep, you had to do it, but I don't think they would. I don't think they would because the thing of all this, there's been too many hurricanes. And if they thought that Storm could have stopped it, that's the first thing that Tucker Carlson would say on his podcast.
You had Donald Trump throwing oops on like paper towels. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, but they don't care if Donald Trump didn't do anything about it because he was Donald Trump. If that was Obama, like free throwing,
change the weather,
free throwing paper towels, that would have been the only thing you heard about ever. Like, that's the only thing you would have heard about. So, no, I feel like it'd be like, well, where was she when, like, Hurricane Katrina destroyed Black
neighborhoods? I think that
neighborhoods?
this is actually, like, the plot of one of the X-Men books. I'm fairly certain that this has been brought up before.
Like...
I just want nothing but, like, mutant PR meetings.
That's all it is. Like, let's get
we're gonna have to talk about our image real quick here. Like Wolverine, I'm sorry, like you can't just keep slicing things up with your claws.
Your claws? It's too much.
We had
Can you kick him? Can you kick a guy?
Like working at the soup kitchen the other day to like help, build up your rep a little bit. You don't even sanitize those things. They come out of your skin. Why did you use them to chop the vegetables?
There's so many comic book panels of him cutting food with his claws. And always
it comes out of your skin.
He bleeds, and so it's just like. Luckily, he has a healing factor, so he's not giving anybody any sort of disease. But if he slices one person, the legal implications of you stabbing one person, taking those knives out, stabbing another person, if that first person had a blood disease and this other person survives the stabbing, you go to jail. Like you, and now you think, wouldn't he go to jail for the stabbing? And the answer is maybe, but we've never seen him. He's a white man and been around for a long time. He's been stabbing people for quite some time now. So if he was going to go to jail for that, he would have already. So I don't think that's the case. I'm now currently, we have not talked about TTRPGs not one time, but I am now currently looking at all the X-Men. I'm not lying to you. And looking to see which X-Men. The best
forward-facing
I'm thinking because we got the Bible Belt covered. Mm-hmm. We have most of the coast or the LGBTQ community. But now I'm thinking, like, who do I get for? Because Jubilee, we already have Jubilee for the market, for another market. Jubilee's ready to go. She creates fireworks. Asian girl lived in a mall. She's like rock and rolling. We have her ready to go. Who do we
Vampire,
get
though.
for the black community? She is a vampire. No, I think she's been cured recently.
Oh, okay.
She's on Krakoa now, so I'm assuming that she is a.
Who do we get for the black community?
Who do we get to the black community? Because you think Storm? That's the it is, but I feel like Storm might be too. She's too big. She's too big. I think she's too big. I think she's too big.
I think you get Bishop.
But Bishop's for the future. He's too serious. You need someone from here for here. We need a FUBU mutant. Like we need a mutant. We need a black mutant from here because Storm lived in Africa. She's an African. That's a global ambassador person who I send out to the world and be like, hey, do you like droughts? Neither do we. Like look at who we have for that. And she's like, hi, it's me. I can solve all the problems of the world. I don't. But I could.
your boy.
It's your girl Storm. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Beep, 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 beep.
Yo, you know who I'm sending to the black community?
Who?
Mystique.
That's exactly what I thought. Mystique. Ooh, done and done.
Mystique a real one. Mystique a real one. Like,
would Mystique do it, though?
You know, probably not, because she's much more murderous than I think anyone gives her credit for. But I think that would be the best choice. Either that or I'm thinking. I always felt like Beast should have been black, but like that's just me personally.
You know what? The more I read about Beast though, the more I'm like, no, man. Like he to me, this might seem like mad offensive, but he is the Candace Owens of mutants, if you ask me.
Wow. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Hank McCoy. How could you? How could you say that? You're not wrong, but I don't appreciate you saying it out loud.
I hate that these listicles exist because I'm just like, 10 black members of the X-Men who aren't Storm or Bishop.
I love how
Jesus.
That is literally the title of this list.
That's amazing. That's so. Who aren't Storm or Bishop?
Oh
that's so great. Well, first of all, Darwin. I looked at the list. I saw the list. Darwin's the first name, and shout out to everybody who watched X-Men First Class. Great movie, but
they made him black.
They made him black in the 30s or the 50s or whatever. And I was like, his power is to adapt to survive. And I felt like he didn't do that. If he was black at that time, his powers were not working.
Okay. Let's get into it. Darwin's entire ability is that he adapts no matter what. No matter what. Yep. He got killed by an energy blast.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Bishop's entire mutant power is that he can absorb energy and then
redirect
shoot it back at other people. He got killed by an energy blast.
Black people's weakness, apparently, in the Fox universe is energy.
Storm's ability is to control the entire atmosphere of whatever planet that she's on. She got stabbed and then killed with the energy blast.
For good measure. Good measure. Take him out. Boop. Boop. Oh, man. Real talk, though. Real talk. I wanted a scene in X-Men First Class where they said Darwin, not him sticking his head into a water tank to show that he could adapt to survive. He's sitting in his cab, right? All of a sudden we see a cop car come over, and as the camera pans to the front of the cab, it's just freaking Justin Bieber. And then he's like, how you doing, officer? Oh, I'm doing fine. Like, I'm just living life. All right, well, you have a great day, sir. I thought I saw someone else on your cab. Oh, no, it's just me. And then he walks away, and it fades back to that black guy. And, and then we would have all known what his power was. Like, we would have all known his power is keeping himself alive. It's adapt to survive.
Hollywood doesn't have the guts.
They didn't have the guts. They weren't ready. And they weren't ready. And I don't think that's cool. I think, either do it or don't. Give us what we want. That's all.
He got killed by Kevin Bacon, man.
Kevin Bacon has put a little energy, like a jawbreaker in his mouth, and he turned to dust. And then we never saw any more black people again. Never. Nobody else in the movies until Storm came around as a villain.
Why was she? I don't even fucking know, man.
It was that those movies got just worse and worse, and more confusing and more confusing.
They did Psylocke twice. They got it wrong twice.
Yep, both times. The only thing they did right in those movies was Quicksilver. The only thing they got right. I liked First Class in fairness, but the only thing they got right was Quicksilver.
I really like Magneto in First Class.
Okay, you're right. Michael Fassbender, give me a movie. That's also what they did do. If you're listening, again, now that Disney's got X-Men back, I know you're listening. Born in Ritual. This is where you come to.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Give me the Michael Fassbender movie you promised me, which was Magneto running around post World War II Europe killing Nazis. That is my God. We want. Like, we don't even have
2 scenes of it, and it was the coldest shit.
Give me that. Give me that movie. Give me that show. Give me that movie. I don't care. That's what we want. That's what we want. I know you're trying to fold the mutants into the MCU, but before you do that, give us a Batman-esque, this is not canon, this is just for fun, like a Logan-esque, this is not canon, this is just for fun movie where we show Magneto running around post-World War II Europe killing Nazis. Like, just why
finding
not?
Hitting Nazis.
I have a title.
Ooh, what's the title?
Glorious Bastards.
Ooh. There it is. Like he gets a crew of like other mutants that are
it's
like
the start of the Brotherhood. Why not?
It's the start of the Brotherhood.
If they want to connect it to something, there we go.
There you go. And he's just running around, and it's like, and it's not Sebastian Shaw because obviously, he dies later, but like he's hunting down all these other people. Like he's like, I want Sebastian. I gotta hunt down all these other people, run around, throwing knives at people with his magnetic stuff. You could just get like random mutants. They don't even have to be real mutants. You could make them up for this movie, and just like blah 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 blah. It's like Wonder Woman, the first movie.
Let's have them find Hitler. Let's say Hitler escaped, and it's Magneto that finds him.
And Magneto finds him.
Let's go.
They're like, oh, Hitler shot himself. He's like, really? Is that what you believe? Is that what they told you? Because they're trying to take us mutants down. Our contributions to the world. They said that he shot himself. Nah, that was me. That was me, brother.
Where do you think the bullet came from?
Yeah, exactly. What do you
think?
Not
from a gun. Not from a gun. I tell you that.
I whipped that around from the other side. I was like, wow. And I got him.
I've been practicing with this coin for years.
Ooh, I'd watch the heck out of that movie.
I just keep thinking about that scene where he's with the 2 Nazis. He stabs one dude in the hand, then sends the dagger.
Comes back and stabs him again. I was like, yo, if you had a movie like that, like rated R, like real crazy, like get all the fun stuff with metal that you want. Because then later on, when we see Magneto later, we're like, yo, this dude is not to be played with. This dude like ran through World War II and just was like a one-man death machine. Like you don't want to play with this guy. Everybody reconsider fighting him because he does not play around. I want that.
I want that so bad.
I want that
so bad. I didn't know how bad I wanted that until right now.
Oh my goodness! And you don't have to feel bad. You don't even have to feel bad because these aren't
Nazis.
Like they're Nazis, and not even like I'm not even talking about alt-right that are basically Nazis. I'm talking about I'm talking about actual Nazis. Like they have the swastikas and stuff, and he's killing them.
Sphinx goes, Magneto, kill Hitler with the coin. Best 50 cents I ever spent.
Yeah,
bro, that's a lie, right? That's a bar.
Oh my goodness. And it's just like that would be just the amount of that, because he's just like, I didn't do anything to mutants. I didn't even know mutants exist. He's like, yeah, this is not about that. This is not about that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the other bit.
I'm not here as a mutant right now.
I'm not here as a mutant right now. Like, look at, like, he like pulls his wrist down. He's like, it's not about that. That's the kind of stuff that, you know what I mean? Like, ground Magneto in the actual atrocity. You know what I mean? Like, not just like as like a prop to explain why he's doing what he's doing, but being like, no, dude, like, I lived in that. You don't even understand how horrible that was. Like, no, I'm here for you. Like, mutant or no mutant, I was coming anyway. That's what you want to do.
I see. And the only reason that I think we never got that is because, one, we're in America, and two, is because, like, you can't see a film like that and then look at Professor Xavier and go, well, they both have a point. It's just like, after that point, it's just like, yeah, I'm
like, once you realize that Magneto isn't like a bad guy, he does bad things, but like legit has a point. Like, you can't like keep looking at Professor X the same way.
Well, in the comic books, if those of you who've read Dawn of X are following the series right now, like, everyone's on the same side. All the mutants are on the same side now.
Yeah.
They've all embraced. They left. They built their own country, and they were like, we're done with y'all. Like, why are we fighting each other? We don't need to fight each other. We're going to fight y'all. Like, so if all the mutants are able to live on this country rent free, like, this is where you live. And surprise, secretly, you don't even have to worry about dying because we have a resurrection pods. So you are now immortal and come to this island. And if you don't let mutants come, we will beat you up. Magneto, Professor X, same page. They're like hanging out together, like as friends. Like, everyone's on the same page because Professor X was like, hey, you know what, Eric? Shoot, when you're right, you're right. Like, I thought that this could work differently, but clearly these people are not ready. For some reason, they're all up on the Fantastic Four's jock, and they hate my guys who do the same thing. What's the difference between Sunfire and Human Torch? Nothing. They're the same thing, except for one is a white boy who got hit with cosmic rays, and the other one's an Asian man who was born that way. That's the only difference between the two of them. They both are covered in fire and fly around.
I always loved when they addressed that in Marvel, where it's just like the X-Men are just like, we're basically the Avengers. Why don't y'all like us?
They're like, boo. 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 None of y'all fought in World War II. Shut up, Magneto. We're not talking to you. Boo. Wolverine's like, well, I fought in World War II, but you don't have a cool shield. Boo.
And you're Canadian.
You're Canadian. Get out of here.
Always raising Canadian contributions during World War II.
Where's your super suit? Like, well, I'm armor. I'm a young Vietnamese girl that has boo. That's how the Marvel universe is. No matter what these people say, they just get shit on. It's so get booed, and there's no reason for it.
Like Captain Marvel comes flying in. Hey,
we love you. That's so crazy. Oh, it's so great. And then Storm comes in. Boo!
And this is why we need to hire you as the PR rep for the X-Men.
Yep. 100%. I mean,
it's so ridiculous, but it's so on point.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's just like, people don't care what you can do. They care about who you are.
Who you are. They're like, no. Like, we could be nice to this woman and she could terraform essentially the planet into a utopia, or boo, you suck. Bring back Thor. We like the guy who can control the weather. Not you. You suck. Boo.
The worst part about that is it's like Thor can only control lightning and thunder.
Yeah, like you control
the weather.
He can make it storm too. I can make it not storm though. I can stop hurricanes and stuff. I could actively make this world a paradise, and they're like, boo, leave us alone. You're a mute, get out of here. And she just
do
goes
you
like,
realize I can put on my planner to stop world hunger? Like that's a thing that I can do that on a Thursday if I felt like it.
Yeah, boo. Your planner sucks. Your planner sucks. Give us more the Black Knight. That guy who runs around stabbing people with that curved sword. Yeah. He's cool. He's an adventure. And it's just like that's so much of it's so much of it that it's so odd. You can get your powers by accident, but you're not allowed to be born with it. Because honestly, and if I was going to come up with a reason, it's because people, specifically men in power, have an issue with people having inherent worth. Like they have an issue with people having inherent worth because they are insecure about their position, because many of them have been given their position without having earned it. They are upset about people who are powerful just on their own. And that's why all the Avengers are cool, because they're either self-made billionaires made by the government, or it was an accident outside of their control, and therefore it's fine because they're not better than me. They just tripped into a vat of something. But
at some point, it can be recreated. It can recreate
it for me. But a mutant is just born better than me, and I don't like that. And that is what's going on.
Yeah. And that's why there are Elon Musk stands, because like if I'm a fan of him, surely one day it might be my turn.
My turn, exactly.
Then Elon will help me. The fact that
he's not going to. He does not know you.
He figured all of this out himself with the money that he got from his family's emerald mines in South Africa during apartheid.
Dude is the worst guy. He's a super villain.
Yeah.
Everybody on Morning Ritual, you heard it from me before you heard. Like, I've been saying that Elon Musk was a supervillain. I've been saying that from day one because I read comic books, and Lex Luthor is just the same guy. Like, he's the same dude.
Same character, different font.
Anytime someone comes up to, if I see a billionaire, red flag. $1 billion, red flag. Because nobody's made $1 billion. You've never done anything. I don't know a single person in this world who has done something worth $1 billion that has $1 billion. I know people who should make that kind of money for the work that they do and haven't got it. But this Elon Musk has. So it's like, first of all, there's that. Second of all, if everyone's telling me how cool a billionaire is, I know that they're evil.
But you want to know something that's really fucked up though? The real world, our real world, would be better for having Lex Luthor and Dr. Doom in it than it is for having Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. If you look at the comics, Victor Von Doom and Lex Luthor do more for their
respective community, yep,
than our real life billionaires.
That's real though. Like, people actually like living in Latveria. It's one of the reasons why Dr. Doom never gets arrested, because he's a diplomat, but people actually enjoy living there. Like, he takes care of them.
Doom loves his people.
Yeah. There was a Black Panther comic. I read a lot of Black Panther. And in Bast, the Panther god Bast shows T'Challa a vision of the future, of multiple futures. And the only one that is a utopia is the one where Doom is in control. Like, and he says that for real. He's like, no, it's a paradise, and not a secret evil paradise. It is a paradise. It actually is like the best future. Just so you're aware who you're fighting. Like, I don't care, but like, just so you're aware.
Doom is the rare occurrence of a dude being who he says he is. Like, Doom says, I'm better than everybody.
And he is.
And he
just is. It's a little weird, and no one's happy about it. Though my favorite Doctor Doom story, and please, Morning Ritual fans, look this up. It's it's a comic issue of Luke Cage, where Doctor Doom goes to Luke Cage. This is back when he was a hero for hire. And Doctor Doom goes to Luke Cage and says, hey, someone escaped from Latveria, but he's black, and I don't have a good eye for black faces because we don't have that many in Latveria. So I need you to find him for me, and I will pay you $200. And then Luke says, okay. And then goes searching through Harlem for this one black guy that apparently is a robot, and it's his whole thing. And then Dr. Doom refuses to pay him. So then Luke Cage goes to Dr. Doom's house and beats the dog piss out of him for $200. That MCU would never. They're not brave enough. They're not brave enough to watch him go like, give me my money.
My favorite Doom story is Doom was hitting on Storm, and like he was kind of like reciprocating a little bit.
Yep.
But he did, I think I forgot exactly what he did, but it triggered her claustrophobia. And I've never seen somebody get G-checked harder with Storm. Was just like, I just want you to know that the only reason that you living right now is because I feel like letting you live.
Yeah, Storm is not to be messed with, which is why I said, again, we bring her to the world. She's the one that you bring to the world to have a conversation. Like, because she could change the planet. But again, inherent worth. Boo! Boo!
AJ put it in chat, but I can actually lift Thor's hammer too. Boo!
Boo! Boo! How dare you?
Put that white man's hammer down.
Yeah, put that poor white man's hammer down. How dare you?
He's
take
stealing his hammer.
There she is. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Look at them. They can't stop themselves. Like mutants? Yeah. That's that too. Yeah, mutants. That's who we're talking about.
Like, you know how fucked up it is that Luke Cage's entire power is that he's bulletproof, and how many times he's had to use that?
He gets shot so much. I thought about that. I was like, man, do you just attract more bullets when you're bulletproof? It's like, no.
Nah.
No, that's just how much you would get shot normally. Dude is crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I feel like I want to make a hard cut. Hard cut.
Bring it in.
I want to make a hard cut because I feel like you brought me onto this show. We've talked nothing about TTRPGs.
Listen, this is how the show goes 99% of the time. You're fine.
And I want to talk about TTRPGs.
All right, let's get into it.
Because I feel like that's a fun thing.
I've got two hard questions. I got two questions that I ask everybody that will bring us into it. Oh, okay, we just gonna jump right into it. And here's the first one. There's a war in the TTRPG community of people who think that dice are forbidden candies that you can put in your mouth and crunch on. There are other people on the side of this argument that think that you don't put dice in your mouth, nasty. That's gross. And you can damage your teeth. It's a choking hazard, and like we share dice, so maybe don't do that. So NurD, we need to know, what side of this war are you on? Are you with Crunch Crew or are you with Stop the Crunch?
That's a very good question, and I'm glad you brought this up. I've been thinking about this for quite some time. And I apologize to members of the community who might feel offended by what I'm about to say. And so make sure you keep your recordings on in case you want to cancel me later.
Yeah.
If you put dice in your mouth, you need to be removed.
Thank you. Let's go.
You need to be removed. And you say, Matt, NurD, removed from where? And my question is, yes, just remove. Just remove. That is what you put. You have your hands on it. It's rolling across the table. Other people might have it, and then you take it, and then you put it in your mouth.
What's wrong with you, nasties?
Is there? So what's happening is what I want to know. Like, what's going on? Like, maybe then, this is what we should do. Maybe as a society, and maybe this might be a little bit of regression, but maybe as a society, we just make binkies fashionable. Like, maybe if that's something that you need, if you need to have something, maybe we make binkies fashionable again. Yeah. Like just like you put some rhinestones on
dice.
Yeah, like maybe do. Get a mint. I don't know. Do something. But putting your dice in your mouth, and especially if you know for a fact you don't wash your dice. You know for a fact
they always say they do, but you know they don't.
You
know they don't.
You know, I've never seen a dice washing video. I've never seen someone say, all right, it's time for my weekly dice wash. How do you wash your dice without losing the color, without getting all the stuff off of it, you know, without unbalancing it? Because
we got dice trays, dice towers, no dice
washers, because people don't do that. So you can pretend that you do, but you don't. If you put your dice in your mouth, you will be removed. I will ask you politely yet firmly to leave, because that is so gross.
We don't let people touch the dice we crunch. You not separating your crunch dice from your play dice.
That's
don't
a lie
to us.
Don't lie to everybody. No. No.
I have crunch dice in my play dice. Get the fuck out of here.
You're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to me and you're lying to yourself. And I think like you should just take a second, maybe get like a pacifier, just own it. And just own it.
Own it.
Just own it. Like that's fine. I don't care. I'm not gonna judge you for doing that. I will judge you, however, for putting your dice in your mouth. Imagine any other game. Imagine you're playing Monopoly. You just pop the dice in your mouth. Imagine
just pop that little top hat piece right in there.
Yeah. Imagine you're at like a casino.
Yeah, we got them on the heels there.
You put the dice in your mouth. Oh, these are the dice I brought from home. I'm sorry. What? No. Stop putting dice in your mouth. What's wrong with you?
You can hurt yourself. You hurt your teeth.
You hurt your teeth. Here's some ice. Like suck on some ice. Do something else. Anything else than that. It's weird. So I'm sorry if that's one of you listening and you love to do that. There's stuff that I love to do that people would also consider gross. Like, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. I'm just saying that it is gross, and you have to hold on to that. Like, you can still do it, but you can't do it and then also say that you're normal. You can still do it, but you can't do it and say that you're normal. Like, you have to embrace that it's gross and that you're gross for doing it.
We not making crunches a thing. We stopping them. We stopping the crunch.
No crunch. Well, there you go. That's my response to that. That is my response to that.
That's been the best response ever. We've had so many cowards come on here. Crunch safely. No, there's no way to crunch safely. We don't do that. We don't waft in the middle of this war like some people who are on the stream right now who are too afraid to commit. I'm not gonna mention any names, but they might be right up there. They might be right up there, too afraid to pick a side. But you crunch safely. Listen. Get that shit out of here. That means you too, Brennan Lee Mulligan. You coward. You came on here. You were a coward.
Coward. Oh man, no crunch safely. Nothing. Oh man, that's so weird. All right,
I've been told that apparently 2022 guest list has been tilted towards crunch, I believe, according to Morshadi.
Because they cowards. Nice. They're afraid of being canceled. We are here to tell you the truth, even if it gets us canceled.
That's the truth. I love you too much to let you do that.
Nor's still not over the betrayal from Brennan.
I'm not. That man, I look up to that man. I had him on this show. and he looked me in my human male eyes and was like, crunch safely. I'm like, you get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
This interview is so...
The Cron Illuminati is big in the world, but I'm not afraid.
Well, we know that there is an Illuminati of crunches because we had a Bria on here who is a CEO of Dice Envy, and she told us outright, I'm making Dice look more and more appetizing. He's trying to get flavor scented ink on the numbers to tempt people in the crunch.
No. You're gonna find me. I said too much. You're gonna find me in a week from now. It's like, oh man, Nerdy's car went to the bottom of a ravine. That was so crazy. He was out on that storm. It's weird how he had so many dice in his mouth, but we are not asking any questions. We're not asking any questions. Looks like he was a hypocrite. Everyone's like, if anything happens to me, no, I never put a dice in my mouth in my life, and I need you to know that.
It's a Brio putting hits out on people.
Just know that I've never put a dice in my mouth in my whole life. And not plan on
Nino Brown out here.
Listen, Noir disappeared a couple weeks ago. Don't really know what happened.
Why you sound so practiced at this?
And then a couple weeks later, it's really weird. Turned out he's got dice over his eyes.
It's just a weird thing. There's a whole manifesto he wrote about.
All the stop the crotches are gonna slowly start to vanish. All right, here's the second question that we ask, and this one is the doozy that usually gets guests to go fuck you. To me, which is if you could play with any 5 people alive, any game you want, and any one of them gets to be the GM. Who are you playing with? What game and who's the GM?
That's a good question. All right, I can play any game, and they're alive.
Mm-hmm. They have to be alive,
and they have to be people. And that's a weird sentence, but they have to be people.
People.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because one of this is like, I would want to play. First of all, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons guy. I would like to play a long form Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay.
It'd be Samuel Jackson.
Yes.
I think that'd be dope. Samuel Jackson. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, this is a good table already.
Like John Jackson, Ryan Reynolds. I know it sounds weird, but I'd say Beyonce. I know that sounds odd, but I feel like no one would ask her to play, and I feel like she would secretly really want to. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I think she's so big that people get intimidated and ask her to do silly shit, and I feel like she might want to play, especially if you had like, some other big
Sam
names
Jackson
on it. Ryan Reynolds.
That works.
I do her. For that same vein, even though I'm not super into tyrants most of the time, the Queen of England.
Okay, I'm here for it.
The reason why I asked specifically, if it had to be a real person would be Elmo. I know Elmo's not real, but Elmo is alive.
I'm letting it count. I'm giving you a 360 for Rocco.
Yes. So I would have all of these people. Be in the game, and I feel like I would be the GM, or I would have the Queen of England be the GM, because I don't know why that sounds funny to me, but I think it'd be better if I was the GM, and then I had those 5 people as a part of my guild. Because think about that party. Samuel Jackson, Beyonce, Queen of England, Ryan Reynolds, Elmo. Like, that is...
Follow-up question. What do you think Beyonce would play? You can't say Bard.
I don't think she'd play a Bard. I don't think she'd play a Bard, because I feel like she'd probably be either a barbarian, or she'd probably try to do something like a... I'm thinking Beyonce barbarian, either that...
I'm thinking way too hard on this, but peep this. Remember, Beyonce does have an alter ego.
Yeah, Sasha
Fierce. I think Sasha Fierce would be her character.
Yep.
Either that, Sasha Fierce might be a sorceress.
Yeah, like I feel like, because I don't know if Beyonce's played Dungeons and Dragons before, and maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. If you're listening, Beyonce, I know this is your favorite, one of your favorite podcasts. I'd love to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Gang.
But I think, I know spellcasters can be very intimidating for a first-time player. You know what I mean? So maybe something like a warlock that only has but so many spells to do. Because I feel like she would still want to do it. So I'd say Samuel Jackson is going to be probably a fighter or a barbarian, again, because he's gonna get the anger out. He's gonna throw out the mother effers all day. So we have Samuel Jackson barbarian. We'll say Beyonce is a warlock. We're gonna say Ryan Reynolds is a rogue. Of course he is. We're gonna have the Queen of England be a paladin, because, that's what she's going to do. Oath of the Crown, paladin. She's playing herself essentially, and then you're going to have Elmo, and Elmo's a wild card. I think that Elmo would either go like wizard, or Elmo would go.
No,
druid,
Elmo's the bard
because Elmo loves animals. Elmo loves animals. I think that he would like to be druid and do some.
But he hates rocks.
But he hates rocks.
Hates rocks.
So he wouldn't be a rock druid.
Or he'd be a druid ranger with favorite enemy elementals.
Yes.
Yes.
Rock elementals.
Yes.
That campaign, you're ready to go. You're already there. You're already there.
Ooh, that's a good point. Sphinx Roll in chat just brought up that Sam Jackson could just be Afro Samurai in D&D.
Oh, snap. A Kensei monk. He just comes in with the... Zah! You know what? I see, and we say Vox Ex Machina or whatever, the Vox Machina team, that's a cool team, but the team of Samuel Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, Beyonce, the Queen of England, and Elmo break the internet.
Fucking touchable.
Break the internet with that. Are you kidding me?
That would be international news. Like they would fucking pause. They would pause sports games to report on this.
It'd be like, man, and the Queen, I feel like the Queen would start off being a regular paladin, like playing Oath of the Crown, being very proper. And as the story continues, you see her break away and like maybe she becomes an Oathbreaker. Maybe paladin? She loses everything and she's just like, yeah, and she turns into a whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like she can finally say some stuff that she wouldn't say about the thing. I think that would be dope. And Elmo is fun, and like Elmo wants to cast fireball. Like that's kind of fun stuff that I would want to watch. Fireball. I would love that. Elmo would be great at that. And I think he'd be a good either.
I just imagine the PCs having PC romances. And I'm done. I can't.
Ryan.
Elmo really likes you, but Elmo was 3.5 years old.
Yep, exactly. Elmo is a child, so he's not getting any like the NPC romance. Elmo is not real. That's why I said he wouldn't be a bard.
That's why I'm saying Elmo bard would be a good idea, though. Like, because Elmo likes to sing the Elmo song.
He does. You know what? He does like to sing. So he loves singing. He does love singing. Mm-hmm. So maybe he is a bard. Maybe he is a
druid for the flavor.
Yeah, for the flavor. Like I think he does
Elmo
like
definitely multi-class.
Yes, he's one of every class. Every time he takes another one of a different class. He's a level 12 character and he's got one level in everything. Like,
yo, has TTRPG not gotten to the point where we could the Sonic movie is coming out, right?
It is coming.
Why not have a one shot with all of the Sonic characters playing a TTRPG?
Everybody should be. Everybody should play at least one. All your favorite heroes. Someone said, before all the heroes got connected, someone said that the Guardians of the Galaxy was just the Avengers playing Dungeons and Dragons, but in space.
I love that. I read.
Yeah, Steve Rogers is Star-Lord, a man from the future in his mind, the 1980s. He's playing a future man from the 80s.
I forgot who they said was Groot because they never really take the game serious. So
They just say I am Groot, and then someone else has to fill in what they said. Natasha, I think it was like Natasha's Groot and Tony is Rocket, who's basically just paying himself again, building stuff because that's what he does. And he every time Natasha says I am Groot is heard like on her phone, not paying attention. So then he's like, okay, this is what she said. She's a tree guy.
Elmo character build next on the docket for videos.
Yes. So all I'm saying is that my table would be fantastic. We play at Buckingham Palace or something. That'd be so cool. Like
the
that'd be
ultimate
dope.
D&D in a castle.
Yeah, everyone flies out. Beyonce, Ryan Reynolds, Samuel Jackson, and Elmo, and then the Queen, and then me.
Can you imagine being the puppeteer for Elmo?
Oh man. and it's great. It's at a table, so it makes perfect sense. You wouldn't even think it's weird.
I've played a TTRPG with a puppet, and you legitimately forget it's a puppet after a while.
After a while, you're already in the realm of fantasy. Nope, it's already on. It's already on.
I swear to God, with my whole chest, I call the puppet the N-word.
Shout out to Perception Studios.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Shout out to Perception Studios.
Oh, man.
We played Call of Cthulhu, and they were doing the puppets. One of them portrayed me. I was like, I can't believe you did that to me.
Was it Chunk or Cucumber?
It was Chunk. Fuck that motherfucker.
Of course it was Chunk. Of course it was Chunk. Oh, no. Holding us back. Chunk is holding us all back.
It's on site for Chunk now.
It is on site for Chunk. Don't let me catch you out here sleeping in these streets.
I'll never forgive you, bro. We've been going for about 2 hours, so how about we take ourselves a quick 10-minute break to go be human. I'm going to go grab a cigarette because I got to smoke away the memories of what Chunk did. Called a lifeless piece of felt the N-word.
It's real. It's real.
But we'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. This has been fantastic. We'll be back with the dark roast, which is where we talk more seriously. That's the plan, but we never really do it. And the That Guy segment, which is a thing, and we will talk about that when we get back. But I'm gonna go now.
10 minutes.
Back.
10 minutes. Bye.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. See, this time I got the time right. This time I actually...
Yeah, we got a whole countdown.
Right? We got...
It wasn't 5, 4, let's go.
And a 5. You're on! Right out!
Hard cut.
Dance! Dance!
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. As those of you who are able to see my physical form, I have changed from my ramen hoodie to my Power Rangers tank top, specifically because we were laughing so much I was getting hot. I had to switch up my clothes. That's how that's what this podcast is.
Good, that means that we're doing something right. and God, talk about an RPG that I really want to play. I really want to play Power Rangers so fucking bad.
Oh, I know, right? I actually just walked by that at my local store just a little bit ago, and I was just like, "There's a whole Power Rangers game."
Yeah,
I said to myself,
"It's good too."
Ooh, I've been wanting to be a Power Ranger my whole life. I've been waiting for the call.
It's funny because like they explain what each color means and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like it's stuff we already knew, but like seeing them put a definition to it, I don't know, it felt weird. Yeah. Like, okay, we all know what's going on. It's okay. We know Red is the leader, but they can't specifically say that, so they're like, the Red leader is a tactical blah blah blah.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm like, okay.
I am still a fan of the old Power Rangers.
Yes,
like,
even
and I'm talking about Mighty Morphin.
Racist.
Yep, Mighty Morphin. I'm talking about you know what? I've come full back around on that because I remember there was a time in my life I was like, why is a Black Ranger got to be black? Why is a Black Ranger got to be black? And then I said to myself, who would I want to be black instead? And I was like, you know what? No, it's fine. I would like the Black Ranger to be black, actually. Yeah.
You know what made me realize that? Because I had a moment where I was just like, yeah, like somebody had the nerve to tell me that Adam was the best Black Ranger, and like you can hear the Wakanda soundtrack in the background, and I was like, how dare you?
Oh my goodness. Please don't say that around me. If you hear this, do not say that around me unless you would like a whole 2 years of your life taken away by me explaining to you how bad you were wrong. Like, it'll take that long. Zach is the best.
Thank you.
Best Black Ranger. He was amazing. Hip hop keto. He invented an entire martial art. Actually, the actor did for the role at like 17 years old in order to incorporate breakdancing and keto martial art all in the same thing.
That man was missing a whole finger the whole time, and we didn't know.
And we didn't even notice. That's how dope he was. He didn't even notice that had happened. Dude was
that man was whooping putties' asses with 9 fingers. Let's go.
I love it. I tell people, like, kids today, their villains are all nuanced. Their villains are all nuanced nowadays. Their trauma. They have problems. We should feel bad for them. But you know what? Back in the day, villains were villains.
Thank you.
Rita Repulsa was a villain. And when I say she's a villain, I mean that this woman had already won, and she's still messing with these kids. Because here's the thing. I'll never forget the episode. There's an episode where the Yellow Ranger gets a weird little troll from her family. And she takes that troll and she sets it on her nightstand. Rita Repulsa sees this from the moon. She has a telescope that allows her to see into this child's home. And then she teleports her monsters into this woman's bed while she's asleep, her bedroom. They take the troll and leave. Before she wakes up, they turn that troll into a monster to wreck her day. Like, she already won. She's only fighting the Power Rangers because she wants to. Like, she teleported into this girl's bedroom while she was asleep. She could have slit her throat. If it was real serious, it would have been done. Trini would have been dead. But no. Like, she took the troll and made it into a monster to fight.
You know, what I want to know is, why is Rita spending her time being a villain when she could easily be making millions as a quarterback in the NFL? The pinpoint accuracy
from the moon.
From the moon. She just throw the whole staff from the moon.
Throw the staff from the moon exactly where that monster died. She goes, what? Never off, never anywhere else. Boom. No matter where the monster is. Boom. She can throw it.
That's just accuracy. Let's talk power. Yeah, she is throwing a staff from the moon to Angel Grove, and it lands there in seconds.
That's power.
Tom Brady who?
Yeah, Tom Brady. Give me Rita Repulsa, please, coming
Hawkeye
in.
Who?
Hawkeye who? He could never. From space, she throws
from
it.
Space.
and here's the bit. My favorite thing that Rita's ever done. I rewatched. Me and my friend Chaz Kangas, shout out to Chaz Kangas, we're thinking about starting our own podcast. It's the Angel Grove Historical Society, where we just talk about the original Power Rangers. And there's an episode where Rita Repulsa, Kimberly comes in, and the episode starts. Kimberly goes on for like a good 10 minutes about how proud she is of this float that she made. She made a float, a little tiny float. She made it. It was a little model. She worked really hard on it. She's so proud of it. Then everyone's all congratulating her. Rita sees this from the moon.
From the moon.
Sends putties, teleports putties into their high school gymnasium to break her model and then leave. Like, that is...
They're petty.
It's so petty. It's like, yo, you're proud of this? Ooh, she could be teleporting putties to the White House. She could rule the world. Instead, she saw this girl. Remember, these are in high school students.
Teenagers with attitude.
This teenage girl that she saw this was really happy about the work that she did. And she went down and broke it and then left. Like, that was it. No monster, no nothing. Just smash and then peaced out. That's a villain. You give me that. That is the villain. That is a true blue. Like, I want you to have a bad day.
Petty patrol.
I don't even need. I can take care of the world whenever I want it. I can teleport. I know all the nuclear launch codes. I can teleport my putties directly into the Oval Office whenever I choose. And instead, I have decided to wreck your day. That's so much. You don't have villains like that anymore. Don't give me any nuanced villain. I don't want a villain with redemption arc. Don't make me try to make it. No. Give me someone who sees a teenage girl who worked really hard on an art project.
Is very proud of her work.
Really proud. Tells all of her friends, and then they break it in front of her and then leave.
If you think about it, the only reason that the monsters didn't start off Titanic size is because Rita wanted to make sure that they caught some hands.
Yep. You're just like, I'm gonna make this a whole afternoon. You thought you could just like get a giant monster, take it out? I'm gonna drag this out. You thought you had stuff you had to do today? No, I'm going to make this. They had homework. These kids had other things to do. And she like purposefully made their day longer by having to deal with this. Because first she sends putties, and then she sends small monster, and then after they beat up, once she's like, oh, they beat him up. All right, turn it into a giant monster, and then it's like, oh, now they're gonna have to get the giant robot. Like it's all of this stuff they had to do. It was all day. Their grades were atrocious. You know, everybody but Billy had bad grades.
She dropped that GPA average as the bigger picture.
She knew the true villainy was not being able to succeed in adulthood. She was like, yo, this is what it's gonna do.
Y'all ain't gonna get a single scholarship. I hope you ready for student loan debt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the true villain of this story. That's the master plan.
Her worst monster was Sally Mae.
Think about it though. Think about how many things that you've done, listener, who is listening to this. Think of many things that you would have done had you not had to pay back your student loans. Think of all the things you would have probably done instead. She made sure that the guardians of the entire planet were burdened with student loan debt because of their poor school. She's playing chess, and these people are playing checkers out here. Like Rita Repulsa, put some respect on her name. She is a villain.
She's just vibing on the moon. She ain't doing shit else.
No, nothing else. She saw these people. She saw that they were the ones that were supposed to be fighting her, and let's ruin their lives.
But if you think about it, all she's doing is just watching them all day. Hey, Sensei Suplex, thank you so much for the raid. Oh my God.
All day and just waits for an opportunity. Wait for them to say that they like something or they're enjoying something. That's real evil. That's real evil because it's attacking you. This girl said, I loved this thing. I put my heart and soul into it. And she just smash. You've never seen a villain do that. They're always trying to take over the world, and the people are just in their way. These people are not in her way. She just is actively deciding to put her destruction of the world on hold to wreck these teenagers' day.
And Zordon ain't doing shit to help.
Not helping them at all.
Zordon gave them the morphers. It was just live your life.
Yeah, live your life. Live your life. Go punch some putties. I don't know. Go do something. I need teenagers with attitude. Why, Zordon? Why
with attitude?
Teenagers with attitude. And does Billy have attitude? I feel like some of these kids didn't have attitude.
What attitude did Trini have?
Yeah, what attitude is that? Okay. Does Jason have some attitude? Yeah, he was the leader. He had some attitude at the beginning.
He has some
Zach had attitude. Of course, Zach can he has all the attitude.
Dripping with flavor.
Kimberly had attitude. She had the Valley Girl attitude. So she had attitude. So those three people had attitude fair and square. Sure, fine. Trini did not have attitude, and Billy did not have attitude. So what are they doing there?
Billy ended up being the best ranger.
Yeah, it was Billy was around for a very long time helping out. He just started interning Zordon after a while. He was just all right, I guess I'll build the morphers and stuff.
Zach had attitude to spare for the other two.
Yeah, he did. He's carrying a theme and attitude powers.
Can we talk about the fact that with Rita, basically filling up all of their days. Billy was still able to invent a flying car, the teleporters, the communicators. Like, all Zordon gave him was the morphers. Everything else was Billy.
He didn't even teach them karate. Like, they already knew karate. Like, they already knew that. He didn't even do anything there. He said, here's some spandex. It's going to make you real strong. Like, and here's some giant robots we have in the garage. Like, you could use them to fight this witch from the moon. She's just really bugging me. I'm not going to lie. Like, if you could just...
But you can't go to the moon because it's
you can't go there. Well, couldn't you teleport us? Yeah, see, here's the thing. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm in this tube. Like, this is what I'm asking for you to do. I need you to live your life, but on the off chance that this lady starts really messing with your stuff, you know, maybe punch her friends. Like, that's what I'm asking you to do. Thank you. Please and thank you. And then Rita's like, Rita's so petty that not only did she goes like, all right, as much as I love torturing these teenagers, you know what would be even more torturing? I'm going to take on one of their classmates and I'm going to turn them into a Power Ranger. Just because I can.
Just because I
can. And he's going to beat all your asses. Every single one. The Green Ranger was...
their ass in the Megazord.
He dragged them out of their car. You've never been beat up like that. This dude's fighting you. Imagine. You're fighting this dude. You and all your friends. You've been doing karate your whole life. All your friends show up. Your friend from school dog walks you. Bah, 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 bah. And then you guys get in your car and you try to get away. And this dude takes out a flute. Boo, 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 jumps on the hood of your car and then punches the windshield and drags you back out of your car to keep beating you up. You've never been beat up that way.
Dinosaur fucking up the Megazord while he was fucking up the Power Ranger. So that's like somebody jumping on your car, yanking you out of your car, and then their car
beats up your car. I was like, man, and she just did that. She had the power to do that, and she could have given that power to like an MMA master, like a Navy SEAL, like somebody who could. No, she gave it to another kid from their school. And specifically the one that the girl who she wrecked the float of earlier had a crush on. Think about that. Kimberly had a crush on a guy, and she said, bet, let me turn him evil and have him beat your ass. That's evil. You're not ready for that kind of evil. That's so messed up. Why would Zordon put you in front of this woman? She's clearly crazy.
I don't know what Zordon did to Rita.
Like, is Rita
like
really the villain?
Spat or something.
Yeah, like, is Rita really the villain, or does Zordon just like do something he wasn't supposed to do? Because she didn't take over the world. She never did, and she could have easily done that. So maybe it's not that that's what was going on. Maybe that was some propaganda from Zordon.
Zordon propaganda machine.
Oh no, Who's in chat goes, Tommy went into the Megazord, took the elevator to the cockpit.
Imagine him sitting there.
It's like a music version of the Power Rangers theme.
It's a little elevator music. It's like,
because I remember the door opened and everybody turned around. He immediately started blasting these motherfuckers.
Bing, 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 bing.
He did trap her in an urn for 10,000 years. That is true.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, who is the villain here? Because if we're being honest, again, I love the Power Ranger. You see me wearing it. Like, this is not saying.
Didn't just trap her in an urn, trapped her in there with Squat and Baboon.
Yeah, like he and she clearly hates those dudes. So it's like he trapped this woman in an urn on the moon for 10,000 years. She said, that's 10,000. 10,000. And she knew it was 10,000 years because that's the first thing she said. After 10,000 years, I'm free. And this is an Asian woman, and Zordon is clearly a white man. I'm not trying to start nothing. All I am saying is this. The only person who told us that Rita, she says time to conquer Earth. She says that. She does say that. After 10,000 years I'm free, time to conquer Earth. What would she think she would have been conquering at that time? 10,000 years from 1994.
Yo, can we talk about the fact that the only person that really cared about their ranger was Rita? Like,
yep.
Like, why does Tommy have a shield on and none of the other rangers got
a power shield? Got a power shield. Like, he's like a good. He's like trying to. She gave him a cool Zord that like you could call without having to set off a volcano. Like some of these other Zords.
Wow.
It just comes out of the ocean. The freaking volcano erupts every time that they try to come out.
It's because it's a natural disaster every time. Who's the real bad guy here?
Is it
Zordon? Rita or is it Zordon?
Yeah, Rita said she's gonna conquer Earth. And I feel like she said that. And then she looked down. She's like, "Oh, never mind." Like, "Oh, never mind. The world's already kind of like figured out." Hey, is that Zord? And Zord was like, "Oh no, my ex is here." Oh snap! I gotta find some kids to beat her up for me. Quick!
That's why they need an attitude.
That's why they need attitude. I need someone to backhand my ex.
A goon squad.
Yeah, he did. He said, and because Alpha 5 was like, "Oh no, teenager!" Like Alpha 5 was not excited about the teenagers being a part of this. He's like, "Does it have to be teenagers?" And he's like, "Yes, yes, it does. It needs to be people who are strong enough to punch a woman, but don't have any rights.
Don't have the moral compass quite developed yet to feel bad
sense
about
of empathy. The sense of empathy is still growing. We can mold them, Alpha. We can tell them anything we want.
We can make them child soldiers.
Yeah, we can child soldiers. We can have them beat them up anyone we want. It's okay. It's all right. They're used to taking orders. It's great. This is the best thing ever. Hey kids, here's a gun. Here's laser guns. Here's actual pistols. Shoot those guys. No one even asked if the police were sentient. Nobody asks if any of these people feel pain. He's like, "Go shoot them, quick." Hey, black kid, I'm gonna give you this axe. Oh, that's really cool. It's also a gun. I know you like those. I've been watching.
Now you got two of them.
You got two of them. Go. This guy's the leader because Jason's the leader, until Tommy shows up and he's like, "Okay, well, clearly this guy's better, so sorry for your service, Jason. You've been demoted to just the other guy now."
We talk about how there's just 100 different Zords that just got casually left to willy-nilly all over the planet.
Yes! There's a Triceratops, and also none of these dinosaurs were around at the same time. So someone would have had to bounce around time and be like, "I'm going to build something out of the saber-toothed tiger. I will also build the Triceratops." They were nowhere near each other evolutionarily. So it's just like, you have been around. This is a new Zord.
AJ in chat also brought up, Ninja Storm, a Ferris wheel turns into a lion, a fairy turns into a dolphin. If there are people on there...
They're now a part of it.
They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead. I feel like I love Ninja Storm is a great one. The underrated Power Ranger series. I think that's around the time I sort of aged out, of original Power Ranger, like watching it religiously. I think Ninja Storm was the last one that I watched from episode 1 all the way to the end.
I think I
on
aged out around
television.
In Space.
But I was real into it. I loved me some Power Rangers. I still think that we should I want Power Rangers with a different theme. So we do it's animals. Oh, it's elements. Oh, it's dinosaurs. Oh, it's cars. There's one which is cars. It's just cars. I don't know. It's cars.
Power Rangers,
this guy's got a car. I don't know. Yeah, it's cars. This is what it is. Give me another one, but I don't know. Give me Power Rangers Colonial first. It's just different founding fathers. It's not good.
Well, I mean, there was always there's other ones that Saban did that were not Power Rangers but different themes, Mystic Knights of Tir-Na-Nog and
Yep.
VR Troopers.
VR Troopers
with the fucking Jack Nicholson dog.
Yep. Shout out to Big Bag Beetleborgs, all you Big Bag Beetleborgs fans. Like, give me some more Power Rangers, but like, I want weird themes.
There was another one that was like an alien one. What was it?
Oh yeah.
Was
I remember there was Alien Rangers at one time.
Yeah, like, because there's like, they always had like a couple crossover episodes when they were introducing a new property as well.
Yep. Oh, I also remember the episode of Power Rangers in Space where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossed over.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yep. It was Power Rangers in Space. I'm almost positive it's Power Rangers in Space.
Yeah, you're right.
So the Power Rangers in space, they come back down to Earth because it's space, so Earth is a part of space, and they come back down to Earth, and for some reason, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a live action show at the time, I don't think Venus de Milo had been introduced yet.
Not quite. No.
But they were all there, and they had to. At first, they fought each other because the Power Rangers fairly assumed that these were Rita monsters, or like monsters, like the monsters that they kind of fight all the time. And the Ninja Turtles are like, "I'm gonna beat you up. I don't know who you guys are. I don't like what you guys are doing." But then they eventually like became on the same side.
Yo, what was it? The Zeo Rangers like aliens or some weird shit?
There was in Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. Still in, because Mighty Morphin like lasts for a very long time. They just change the animals, but they don't change the name of the show. There was a section where Rita, or was it Zed? Doesn't really matter.
Might have been Zed.
One of them turns most of the people, like a lot of people, into babies or like children.
Yeah.
And then like so then these aliens that Zordon knew came to like be the Power Rangers while they were trying to figure out how to turn all the Power Rangers back for being babies. And
so time out real quick. You mean to tell me that this entire time, Zordon had a squad that he already knew could power range.
Yep.
Yeah, he grabbed teenagers with attitude.
Yep. And they had powers too. Like they had inherent superpowers. Objectively more qualified to deal with this issue.
Was Zordon the bad guy?
Zordon, if nothing else, he was incompetent. If nothing else, he was not competent in his abilities.
Incompetent at the lightest, willfully ignorant at the best.
And yeah, like the dude is clearly not the one to handle this situation. Not only do the Zords cause irrevocable damage to the planet every time they're introduced. Every time. But even still, it's just like they send them all to a small California town. There's no way the devastation. They're so big. They're so big.
Where are these fights taking place?
Angel Grove. It's always Angel Grove. That place is
like there has to be like some sort of no man's land outside Angel Grove where the fights take place, but it can't just be there.
No, it's like, that's why I liked the Power Ranger movie they made where they had all the people running and screaming, because that's what it would be
every afternoon.
Every afternoon. Man, these are really based around this one high school schedule. How is it never happening while they're in class? Because Rita waits. Rita
has her class schedule.
She's waiting, and she goes like, "All right,
can't
Kimberly
do that.
gets out of
AP bio."
Yeah, like right after this really hard. I know they got midterms. I'm gonna ramp up monsters right around midterms, so I know they're really stressed and they're not gonna be good. And then I'll ease off during summer break because and I'll wait until they have like a date or something, and then I'll show up with the pimple monster. Like that's the kind of stuff that she did. Oh man!
Oh my god!
So if the Power Rangers RPG game is anything like that, where someone is just actively making you feel bad, not even trying to kill you, like making you feel bad about yourself, and that is their whole villain mission, I will play it because I would like that.
I think I've learned a lot more about Power Rangers in this last 10 minutes than she's so petty, but she's not evil.
She's not like she says she's gonna conquer Earth when she first gets out, and then she doesn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like she just doesn't do that.
Zed comes and it's just like, you haven't been like picking up the slack here. We're supposed to conquer Earth.
And she's like, no, but you don't understand. No, these 5 kids. I hate it. I hate these 5 kids so much that I'm gonna wait to take over.
But even Lord Zed didn't really try to take
exactly.
The only villain that I think actively tried to take over the world was Ivan Ooze.
Ivan Ooze, because he was just like, oh, we're taking over the world. And Lord Zed, because Rita was like, Zed shows up and he's like, hey babe, what the hell? You were supposed to take over. First of all, it's been 10,000 years. Like, no call, no text.
Left me on
what the
red.
hell? You left me on red for 10,000 years, man. I know you and your ex Zordon are like this on again, off again thing, like whatever. Like I just thought that we were better than that. And now here we are, and you haven't even destroyed this world. And Rita's like, baby, I understand. Hey, whoa. I know you're mad. I get that. I could have communicated better, but these 5 kids, no, you don't understand. No, these 5, now 6, like 6 of them now. Like, I hate them.
6 of them now, because one of them decided to turn sides. Like, it's a whole
turn side. I hate them so much. I just want them to have a bad day. And at first, Zed's like, girl, you're dumb. I'm taking over this project. And then he goes like, first I'm going to start by fighting these kids and get them out of the picture. Then after the first fight, he's like, you know, I really do hate them. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. I really do hate those kids. They're really the worst. And she's like, see? See?
It's the Jordan meme.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Fuck these kids.
He looked back at her and he's like, you know what? I might have spoken out of turn. I really do hate these kids, actually, now to say, bro. And she's like, I told you. He's like, you really undersold it, man. I really hate these kids.
Man, these kids maybe we could,
like, you know.
Oh my God, hold on, time out. This is Zordon's brilliance, because what's more annoying than a teenager? A teenager with attitude.
He's like, the only way we could stop Rita and Zed from conquering the world is if I give them a group of kids that they would much rather torture. He was thinking about you and me. He wasn't thinking about those kids. He said, give me teenagers with attitude. I want teenagers that no one's gonna like. And that's super, super mean. Because Jason seemed like a nice kid. Zach seemed like a nice kid. Billy seemed like a nice kid. Trinity seemed like a nice kid. Kimberly, I can understand a little bit. But like everybody else, it seems like nice kids. So it's just like, he's like, yo, we're going to sacrifice these 5 kids, and that's what it is. We're going to tell them that they're a secret fighting force, and they're not. They're just going to be kids that are tortured until they grow up and leave. Like, because what didn't Zach and Trini like just go to college? Like,
they just quit.
They just quit. Because it's like, wait a minute, we are not making headway on this.
Like, I got more to do. I got a life I got to take care of.
It seems like this is like just like a circle. And I'm getting out of it. I'm getting out of this thing. I got stuff to do. And Trinity's like, yeah, those guys were in my house, Zordon. Like, they were in my home. They teleported directly into my house while I was asleep. You didn't say that when you picked us. You didn't say that was something they could do.
But the thing that makes that even more fucked up is that when they decided to leave, Zordon was like, bet. I got these 2 on
deck. You think you matter? Nah, bring in Adam and freaking
hand over your power to
Aisha. Yeah, like pen over your power. Give it to these people. And then like Zach went to hand it to Aisha. He's like, you give her the yellow one. That's cool. The yellow one has a little dress on it. I don't want to have to re-sew it. So. I don't want to have to re-sew it, so we're just gonna.
Yeah, Zordon can't afford a tailor.
Yeah, he's like, let's just flip it around. I got too many emails, man. They try to cancel me, so we're just gonna flip these dudes.
Zordon is just a cheap Target store manager.
Yeah, it's like, nah, it's all good. You hand him the badge. All right, bye. We'll never talk to you ever again. Bye. Bye.
And I know I didn't give you that risk communicator, but I'm gonna need you to
give that back, because you can't be coming back and forth with me.
But Billy made this for me. It'd be really convenient for me to get back and forth. Nah, run that watch.
Nah, dude, run that watch. You guys have fun in college, you punks. You're supposed to stay with us. It's like they never talk about them ever again. It's like you guys almost died together. Like, I feel like that's something you should like at least have a certain level of communication.
They didn't even give tips to the new Rangers. Like, hey, you know, the saber-toothed tiger sticks to the left a little bit.
Yeah, they like keep it pushing. They said peace. You'll figure it out. All right. I'm out of here. Boop. And never saw or heard from them again.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so excited for a Power Ranger RPG. I need to find some time to get that going.
I need to find it. I love it. So please, Saban, anybody who's in charge of Power Rangers, please believe that I would be a part of it. Let me do the gritty reboot, and not like the gritty reboot that's like on the movie that you made that I actually did not like. I thought it was fun.
I love that movie.
I thought it was fun. I thought they did a decent job. I would have watched more. I think you worked too hard to make the suits look like realistic and stuff. I think the spandex is kind of what makes it, kind of making them all homunculously like weird, bumpy pseudo metal. I think that was a mistake. I think you should have because if you look at the comics and like the artwork, it's just the helmet, sleek, spandex stuff. Like that's fine. Make it look like a suit. Don't make it look like a weird like bio metal thing. It looks weird. You know what I mean?
It looked like Guyver.
Yes, like I don't want that. Don't give me some Evangelion like nonsense. I want you to give me a sleek suit and a bunch of kids that really shouldn't be doing that and be like, let's go punch this woman's friends as she throws spears from space.
From space, she should be in the NFL. Neighborhood. Oh my God!
She could have impaled them at any moment. There was nothing they could do. They're in algebra class. All of a sudden, stab. Done. Know that you only.
I mean, we know she knew they schedule.
And she knew. So it was like the only reason that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were alive was because Rita allowed it. She allowed it. Zordon did nothing to protect those kids.
He didn't even give them a power shield.
No.
They didn't even know a power shield was an option until they were getting flexed by a guy with the power shield.
The same guy from their own school. She said, I will do you one better, Zordon. I'll take your same class. Beat him up.
Yo, if she made an entire Power Rangers team, that would have been the end of it. Here's the thing. In all the Power Rangers show, there's always a moment where the 6th Ranger or the 6th and 7th in case of Ninja Storm, or the 4th and 5th in the case of Ninja Storm, there's always an extra Ranger, and that Ranger can always beat up all the other Rangers, and because they're evil. And in my head, it is subtly implying to children that evil is better. Like being evil is actually better. You're stronger, you're faster, you're more likely to win a fight. And the only thing that keeps you from winning is ego. That's it. So like if you could be evil and don't have an ego, you will win. Because all Tommy had to do is take that flute dagger and drop it down one time, and that was it. That's all. But he wanted to play with them.
Vegeta complex? Is that what this is?
It is the Vegeta complex. Actually, you know what it is? It's the Goku complex. I'm gonna make some enemies on this podcast real quick.
Here we go. I can already feel it. I can feel it.
Here it is. Goku is a villain and should be treated as such. Homeboy was like, "Hey, Cell, I know you're trying to destroy all the world,
God.
Everyone in it, and I could stop you right now, but I'm not gonna. I want you to get stronger. I'm gonna hand you a sensu bean and go tell you to go get stronger, and I'll wait for you." And then he gets murked. And then he put the entire world at risk. Cell was going to kill everybody. And he was just like, I want to see if I can beat him. And the answer was, no, you can't. You should have stopped him when you had the chance. And you had to have your son do it. You watched your son get beat up for a whole minute. And you're just like, all right, son, you murder him. You murder this sentient being, kid who's never wanted to fight this whole time. You do it.
It's because Gohan had to learn.
What do you have to learn? Nothing.
look, no. We gonna do this because
you keep saying have to. You keep saying have to as if it was an imperative. He didn't have to. He was fine.
No, Goku needed to make sure that there was going to be somebody on the Earth that could defend the Earth because he had just learned from Trunks that because nobody else stepped up to the plate when the androids came, they wiped out everything. So he focused on making sure Gohan was that dude.
The androids were done. The Cell was the problem. The androids were finished at that point. Cell was the problem. He could have done. And also, how rude is that to Piccolo, to TM, to Krillin, to Vegeta even? Trunks is still there.
They all scrubs though. Like, let's keep it a buck. Goku knows Piccolo was a problem for him when he was a child. Krillin was never an issue for Goku. Like all these other cats, they are B+ players. I'm going Vince McMahon now.
Oh my goodness.
B+ players.
Oh,
he knew that the world needed a dude, and the only person that was going to be the dude was
Krillin Mania coming up, man. I'm telling you, Krillin's gonna show up like Kofi Kingston. He's gonna say, "You know what comes next? You know what comes next?" Like, no.
Listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but anytime somebody like Kofi or somebody gets the belt, it's only a rest period before Roman and Brock get the belt again. Because as much as we would like a beautiful universe where people like Cesaro get their time in the sun, that's not the real world. The real world is A+ players.
Kofi Kingston had a full run. I'm sorry. I will defend that right now. Kofi Kingston had a full run. He beat Kevin Owens. He beat Randy Orton multiple times. He beat who else was that? Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and maybe that was it. Now that I think about it, he didn't have another feud. Okay, that's over multiple months. That's over multiple months.
Yeah, but who got the belt now? Who got the belt now?
I don't want to have that conversation with you. Like Brock Lesnar did him dirty. That is correct. That is correct. He was done dirty. Same with Big E. Both more so than so at least Kofi Mania. At least Kofi Mania had a full-on feud. He had a feud with Daniel Bryan. It went all the way, from Ali getting hurt to him going all the way to WrestleMania, basically stealing the show at WrestleMania. If it wasn't for Becky Lynch headlining WrestleMania for the first time in women's history, like that would have been the biggest moment of the night. It arguably was. You know what I mean? So like real close. But he had that. And then he fought Kevin Owens, good fight. And then he fought Randy Orton. Arguably the best part of that feud, the part of his run was him like going all the way back to him and Randy's like first actual real world beef and like working that into the storyline. Perfect. He fought Randy Orton at 2 different occasions and then he lost the belt to Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And that is where the problem is.
Because Brock Lesnar is Goku. Brock Lesnar is Goku, and you don't want to admit it, but I'm sorry, that's the way it goes. Look, and Lynn is in chat going, look who Gohan is dressed like when he kicks Cell's ass. You know what? That's great, because sometimes a B player has a good persona that an A player needs to take.
Get out of here. No. I'm telling you this right now. Piccolo was a good dad. Piccolo was a good dad, and you will not disparage this black single dad out here raising somebody else's kids. We're the best by them. You're not gonna say that. You're not gonna do that today.
I'm sorry. Piccolo works real hard. He's an amazing character, but he's not an A+ player. I'm sorry.
No. Piccolo's A+.
When was the last time the special beam cannon mattered? I'll wait. When was the last time that was deadly? When was Destructo Disc did anything.
Destructo Disc, no. In the Battle in Super, people were running from Destructo. It was real. Frieza almost died because of Destructo Disc. People sleep on Destructo Disc all the time. When Goku fought Krillin, he was like afraid of it because people know if it hits you, that's a game. It is not a really strong attack, but if it hits you, it's a game. So people were like, all right, put some respect to Krillin. Krillin is not an A+ player, I'll give you that. But I will say that for Goku to just be like, I'm gonna let my son get his little narrow behind beat in so that maybe he wins. Because he didn't even know he was going to win that fight. He couldn't even beat that fight. And Gohan is weaker at the time.
Hold on. I'm going to fight against that. Because Goku did know that Gohan could win. And here's how they told you. Gohan was watching the fight. And he's just going, okay, this is what's going on. And then Goku went, hey, were you able to keep track of everything that was just happening? And Gohan was like, yeah, why? Well, and everybody was just like, they were moving too fast for us to see it. And Gohan was like, no, they weren't. And Goku was like, bet. Guess who's going over? Guess who's getting the push? Guess who's getting the push? Who's getting the belt?
That's not a good enough reason. That's not a good enough reason. If I was playing a game, no, it's like if I'm on NASCAR, they're like, can you follow where all the cars are going? Yeah, can you not? Get him in the car. He's clearly the chosen one. No, you're gonna end up crashing that car. I've never driven a car before.
You know anime logic. Anime logic is if you only get to be able to keep track of the fight if you can take part in the fight. Everybody else was getting their ass whooped by Cell Juniors. Cell Juniors. You gonna tell me anybody that got murked by a Cell Junior is an A+?
There wouldn't have been a Cell Junior. There wouldn't have been a Cell Junior if Goku wasn't on some stupid nonsense. Like he allowed
how getting the push works. You know how getting the push works. We gotta look like it's hopeless. No. And then the music hits.
No. I refuse. I am here for Piccolo. I am here for everybody but the Saiyans. I am sorry. I will not be a party to this space Aryan propaganda anymore.
Anybody that look, it's not just about the Saiyans because Vegeta got flexed by a Cell Junior.
Yes,
Vegeta is also trash, and I'm tired of people acting like he's not.
Vegeta has been trash.
Doing his best.
I don't know if I would say good. I would say he is a dad.
He is dad.
I would say that he is a dad. That is fair. But
Goku is definitely not a dad.
No, Goku is a guy who has children. There are different. There's a difference. Piccolo is a father, and Goku is a guy who has children. They are very different things. Goku's essentially a baby daddy.
You're right.
Like. Right. He only care about fighting. He only talk about fighting. That's all he wants to do is fight all people. Remember when Boo, the evil incarnation candy monster person, turned into a young black child. I remember that. His name was Oob. His name was Oob, the young black child named Oob. And then Goku sees this young black child and says, I'm gonna go train him. Something that he's never done with his children ever. And he takes that little boy and he flies off into the sunset. But then that boy is never seen or heard from again.
He got to feed him. He forgot that was a part of it.
The next time he sees him, he turns into a baby again. And they go try to recreate Dragon Ball, only this time with different people. Oob is just gone.
Look, I never said Goku was a good father.
He's a villain.
Oh, he's not.
There's Oob's bodies in a ditch somewhere.
Goku's a good booker, not a good father.
All he does is he can nuck if he bucks. That's all Goku is able to do. He is not, and he sometimes will nuck even when the world would like him to buck. Like the world was almost dead, and he said, get stronger, and come back and fight my son.
He handed him a senzu. Like, I remember as a child when Goku did that. When I was young and not quite well versed in the world, I was just like, I can't believe Goku would do that. Like that.
I still can't.
As I've grown,
no,
I understand what he did.
No,
he put his son over.
No,
he put his son over, and he can't
wrong.
fault the man for that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you are. You can. You 100% can. It's not a wrestling promotion. It was real people's lives. So was eating people. This is not a game. This is not the time to play that game.
Goku needed to know somebody else was an A+ player on the planet.
Gohan wanted to go to school. He just wanted to get an education.
Oh, fuck that. He gonna fight today.
That sounds like an abusive parent. That sounds like an abusive parent.
You finna save the earth today, boy.
Get in that ring and beat that guy. Dad, I just want to learn math. Math, what you need math for? You got 1 fist, 2 fists. That's all you need to know.
Count how many hands you put on the boy.
Just, all you need to do is count that combo.
Yeah, count that combo. That's all you need. Combo breaker. That's all you need to know.
I still can't stand how disrespectful DBZ is to everybody that's not Goku.
They had Yamcha cuckolded. Full stop. Yamcha was in love with Bulma. They were in love. And Vegeta shows up and then just lays it down with Bulma. They don't even break up. Like, he's like, you keep bringing this guy over to our house. She's like, stop being jealous, Yamcha. You're so jealous all the time. And he's like, this is the dude who tried to kill everybody earlier. You do remember that? And she's like, he's just different. He's just angry. Like, it's okay.
I guess Lil Fake Fist can't beat the Big Bang.
Yeah, Big Bang Attack, man. I'm just saying. Vegeta apparently had that toxic level energy. And to all you out there listening right now, there's a short, angry man in the wings. So be careful. Be careful how you treat your lady out there. If you're with a lady, regardless of who you are, there is a short, angry man in the wings that will blow their back out if you are not careful. So,
you know, Yamcha had to learn that the hard way, and so did Cyclops.
You gotta be ready. You have to be ready. And at least Cyclops did the right thing. Because again, like I said, if you've been reading the new Dawn of X, they're now in a poly couple. It is Wolverine and Jean Grey and Scott. They're all dating each other. Like, that was the only way that was gonna get solved. Yamcha should have rolled up his sleeves and re-examined his masculinity, or he should have stepped up the plate, because Vegeta was ready. Vegeta had no interest in her right away, and he was just like, "I'll do it." And then Trunks showed up, and everyone's like, "Who's that kid?" Imagine you're hanging out with your friends, and a person shows up and is like, "Oh my God, I'm from the future. Oh, hi, Mom," and then points to this random murderer. And it's like, "Oh, hi, Dad." And you look at your girlfriend like, "Excuse me?"
But it's like, I probably died or something, and you had to move on, and you had no choice but to move on with Vegeta, right? That's how that worked, right?
Yeah, no, you're like Yamcha, right? It's like, I'm sorry, right?
Uncle Yamcha.
I'm sorry. I know you didn't just say that. Who is this kid? How old are you? You gotta be like, what year are you from? Oh, you know, I'm like 14 years away. I'm sorry. You're 14? You're from 14 years in the future from right now?
But you know what? I'm glad we mentioned in this plot line, because this plot line tells you what the world would be like without Goku being Goku.
No.
Goku got a heart attack, and what happened? What happened?
Heart attack. Exactly right. Goku got a heart attack. He is not the guy. He got taken out by plaque. He got taken out by arteries. Nah, he is not the man. He is not the dude. He gets taken out by
basic. He is a
artery.
Saiyan, and he has been eating Earth food. His body ain't built for that. His body's not ready for Big Macs. You think they got Big Macs on Planet Vegeta? How you think they got a quarter pounder of cheese on Planet Vegeta? I don't fucking think so. All right, so you cut Goku some goddamn slack and put some fucking respect on his name.
Nothing.
The
greatest villain of the world is McDonald's drive-through menu. They took out the strongest being on the planet. He said, "I can go Super Saiyan God, and I can Biggie size that if you like." That's what I can do.
Ryan goes, "The heart attack did take out Vegeta though." And that's because you know Vegeta's the short, angry type of dude that demands gluten-free shit. Don't give me that. Don't give you
Vegeta.
You think Vegeta's going to McDonald's?
Vegeta's full. Bulma's cooking for him. Vegeta's full. He's sitting on Yamcha's couch with his feet up. That's so sad. I'm stuck. I like Yamcha got killed by a Cyberman, and then he gets the same person who brought that Cyberman to him is now with his girlfriend. Like that's so sad. I can't imagine someone murders me and then I come back and then now he's with my girlfriend.
He's still single.
Right now in Super, he's like playing baseball or some nonsense. They don't even care what happened to him. He used to be the greatest bandit in the world.
They cucked the kung fu out that motherfucker.
He was so devastated by. Imagine you dedicated your whole life to martial arts, and then one dude bangs the drive out of your girlfriend, like bangs your personal drive to succeed out of your woman. That's a lot to me. That's a lot. That's. He goes, you know what? I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Y'all go fight. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Oh God, he went Super Saiyan Savage.
Like, I'm out of here. And here's the thing. And please don't get it twisted. I do not fault Bulma in this situation. Oh. Like Bulma wanted what she wanted, and she should have been more communicative for sure. But it is what it is sometimes. Like, you have a young love. It kind of she could have gone better. She should have talked to Yamcha ahead of time. Vegeta was just doing what Vegeta was going to do. Like, Vegeta was just like, yo, I'm coming through. You don't have to let me in if you don't want to, but I'm coming over. And she's like, bet.
I think we need to really put into perspective all that Yamcha has accomplished. He has taught himself to fly with ki and to shoot fireballs. Yamcha could Kamehameha.
Yeah.
He can do that. He's a regular human.
He fought. He was on par with Goku in Dragon Ball. He was a famous bandit. He was fighting off people with automatic gunfire. That's how good he was at martial arts. The Red Ribbon Army would take an Uzi and fire it at him, and he dodged that. Like, that's how good he was at martial arts. And Vegeta banged that out of his girlfriend. Like, think about that. He never was the same after that. He went to play baseball with regular humans. This man can dodge automatic gunfire. He said he can fly. And he said, I'm gonna play baseball, guys. I'm really sad about what happened. And y'all just stood around like it's cool. Y'all go into like your kids are friends. Like, imagine your friend Goku. You've known this dude since childhood. You basically you kept this man alive. This is supposed to be your homie, your person. And now his kids are playing with the kids of the guy who's holding you. And they're all friends. They're all going to Thanksgiving together. Like, everybody's hanging out. And that guy who did that is the same guy who murdered you earlier. I wouldn't want to hang out with these friends anymore either. They're not good friends to Yamcha. They're just not good friends to him.
I bet Yamcha's Twitter is salty as fuck.
Yamcha has an alt account.
Oh my goodness!
These
I think
no
Yamcha,
good snake sons of bitches.
He's saying Yamcha has an Alex Jones podcast about Saiyans where he says very disparaging remarks about everybody. And he's
I almost couldn't blame him for being racist.
He's angry. He's angry about it. They all left him. They left him behind. All of them did. They're all like, oh yeah, sure. They only invited him in Super when it was like a huge everybody get together. And I bet you he was a pity invite too.
But he still showed up.
He's got nothing. Part. He's got nothing else.
He's got
nothing left.
The tragedy of Yamcha.
I think what we need to do as a nerd community, everybody listening to Morning Ritual, what we need to do is we need to get some like redemption for Yamcha. I think that's appropriate.
We need a Yamcha day. Like, this man can fly. He can dodge bullets. He can shoot laser beams out of his hands. And he taught himself to do that. He taught himself. He doesn't have no magical alien blood.
Yeah, he's just a guy. He was just a guy. Also, a guy came from a really tough background where he had to steal in order to survive. This dude's from the struggle.
March 5th. March 5th is now Yamcha Day.
March 5th is now officially here and forevermore will be known as Yamcha Day, where we say that Yamcha got the short end of the stick and he needs a redemption arc. Give him a form. I still think that humans should get a form in Dragon Ball Z. I think that there should be a version that humans can unlock that we didn't know was there. Give it to Krillin first, and then give it to the rest of the humans afterwards. Like, oh hey, if remember the Super Namek? Remember when Piccolo like absorbed the other guy and became like a Super Namek? Yeah. We need that. We humans need to be able to have like another thing that they can just do.
I mean, because like humans already got dusted as soon as Super Saiyan came out.
Yeah, no, as soon as Kaioken came out. I'm talking about Super Saiyan, like Kaioken. None of the other humans uses that.
No, Yamcha can use Kaioken.
Oh yeah, he does.
Come on now.
Another thing Vegeta took from him.
Something. Humans need something. Humans need to be able to do something that other beings can't do. That's why I like Doctor Who, as opposed to Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z. Don't get me wrong, but like that's why I like Doctor Who, because throughout Doctor Who, one of the things they always say is that humans, but for all their magical-esque abilities that the rest of these aliens can have, they survive. Somehow they always are at the table. Somehow they're always a part of like how things work. And I don't know how they do it. No one really knows how they do it, but like humans are resilient. You know what I mean? Yeah. You'll never just take them out. Like they're just always around. They're like the herpes of space. Like they're just around all the time.
Glitter.
Exactly, craft glitter. The craft glitter of the universe. Humans just are there.
Can't get rid of us.
And I feel like we need that. I feel like we need that for Dragon Ball Z. I think we need humans to be more prevalent. Otherwise, it's just the same four dudes punching each other over and over again.
I mean, look, that's apparently what people love, though. We see it all the time in all sorts of mediums. That's why, according to Batman fans, Batman can fight everybody. That's why.
Time, blah, 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 blah.
That's why
on Batman, because I will talk for the rest of the day.
That's why, like, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns play hot potato with the belt. Like, it's just that's what it is. That's people like two dudes. That's it.
two dudes. They're like Seth. Seth too.
Okay. Well, actually, if we're going by Dragon Ball Z logic, they're like four dudes, and that's it.
Yeah, it was like four dudes. I would say like Seth is a part of those dudes. He gets the title a lot. Like he's around that. He's around those guys.
Like you got three mains, and then like every now and then some fourth one will pop up. Yeah.
And they're only there for a little bit, and then they just get knocked back.
I mean, you'll have notable fourth dudes, but they're still fourth dudes. Like, what's his name?
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan was a really cool fourth dude. We all enjoyed that. It felt good. Never got it again.
We got it again. He was just a bad guy the second time.
Oh yeah, where he was the environmentally friendly.
Yeah. He was like the heel is the one who wants to keep the planet safe.
Yeah, that angle was trash. That belt run was trash. And
the only good thing I've never been a fan of Daniel Bryan. In fairness, so hey, hot take. Never been a huge fan of Daniel Bryan. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I've never got it. Like he's like, oh, he's such a good technical wrestler. I'm like, okay. Like other technical wrestlers are more interesting. So I was like, I don't get it. But at the same time, not everybody's tea is for you. Right. Not every pants is the pants you need to be in. So I was just like, okay, cool. That being said, what makes Daniel Bryan's run, the evil run, the heel run, work is Kofi Mania. Like everything else he did was kind of dumb before that. Like I wasn't a huge fan of that. But like because it was all leading to Kofi Mania storyline where it's just like, because that promo, I'll never forget that promo where Daniel Bryan calls him a B+ player, which is great because that's exactly what Vince McMahon called him. And then Kofi Kingston says, like, you're scared because you've seen this before. Somebody calls you a B+ player. They tell you you're not going to make it. And all the people are chanting their name. And the person who the establishment chooses is standing there saying that. And you're scared because you know what comes next. Like, that line stuck with me. I thought it was so good. They both played it so well. Kofi was like, it literally was like, hey, remember what you did not 4 years ago. Like, I'm doing the same thing. And then sure enough, Trouble in Paradise, 1, 2, 3, Kofi Mania began. We were in a bar back in Minnesota. It was called Bar Lucha. Shout out to Bar Lucha. It's no longer with us because coronavirus doesn't like anybody having nice stuff.
We lost ours in Chicago, Squared Circle. Always
dude, always put it on up. But we were all there watching it. And the whole bar, we erupted. People were hugging. You thought the war was over. Like, they were kissing nurses in the street. We were like, yes! Kofi is back. He did it. He finally did it after all this time. It was beautiful. It was lovely, and it was worth every second. And then Brock Lesnar showed up. And in 5 seconds, he took that belt off him and kicked his ass back down in tag team wrestling. He said, get out of here.
Brock Lesnar is the definition of someone who's not paid by the hour.
Yo, no. That dude is, he is a franchise all his own.
Because the world likes 4 dudes!
That's why no one else can play. Oh, no, I was going to say something that I'm not going to say. I was going to say that's why nobody else can play Dungeons and Dragons on the stream because we already got the 2. We already have them.
Listen, you're not wrong. The world likes 4 dudes. And if you're black, they like 2 dudes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, everybody listening. Please don't give up on your dreams. I don't want that to be the message here. Don't give up on your dreams, please. But be aware.
Be aware of the game.
Be aware of the game, please. Because they're not. Oh my goodness. That's great.
And that's why, I respect Piccolo. I love all of the other characters, but I understand what it is. At the end of the day, every movie's gonna end with Goku doing a Kamehameha saving the day. It's just what it is. So I mean, it's just that. Like you want to know who? I don't know if y'all watch Bleach, but my favorite character in Bleach was Chad, this tall black dude that had a fucking demonic right arm that would just destroy everything. That motherfucker vanished. He's gone now.
He's gone.
That's why I don't waste time in devoting myself to the B+ players, because it hurts you. All right, so I'm gonna root for Goku and not have my feelings hurt.
Nah, dude. Don't let them do that to you. Don't let them take that from you. I've always been team other guy. Like my favorite has always been the other guy. Every time I watch the show, I watch Justice League. My favorite, The Flash. Not Batman, not Superman, not Wonder Woman, not any of the main ones. I like The Flash. I like Captain Marvel. Not Superman, not Batman, Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? When you look at the Avengers, my favorite Avenger, I mean, in the MCU, I guess my favorite Avenger is Hawkeye, but like, I guess I would say Black Panther. Like, it's not, I'm not picking the guy that everyone wants you to pick 9 times out of 10. I don't know why it is, because I feel like those people are more interesting. Demon Slayer, for example. I like the guy with he just falls asleep and then just does the one move over and over again. I love that guy.
I still have not watched any of Demon Hunter. I probably should.
Yeah, it's pretty. I will say it's pretty. I'm not gonna say it's good because I can't. Like hot take. I can't say it's good. I can say it's pretty though. I can say it's very pretty. It's one of the most beautiful animes I've watched in a minute. And if you want to see some good artwork, it's worth it just for that.
I'm confused because there's like, what I have now learned is a little demon girl who bites on bamboo. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, like, she is a fully grown woman that's stacked out. And it's just, it's weird. I'm like, I don't know.
It's always weird. I never, like, anime has not been super great to women in fairness.
Yeah, no. I'm just like, I don't know if I can. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to think. How old is this person?
Assume that everyone is
14.
Like 14.
I assume that everybody is 14 in anime.
In Demon Slayer, until proven otherwise, yes. In Demon Slayer, though, one of the things, for those of you who've watched, you know what I'm about to say. I think it's weird how demons can just decide not to eat people. And if one demon can just decide not to eat people, which is the entire crux of the show, then killing all the rest of them seems a little sus to me.
Wait. Time out. Demons can just decide not to eat people.
Yep.
So why is she chewing on a bamboo pacifier?
She just likes it. She just likes to do it. Like, it's just a thing to do. Like, she replenishes her energy by sleeping. So she doesn't have to eat people. She just replenishes her energy by sleeping. And I was like, that's it? Nobody thought of that? Apparently it's very hard to do.
To just take a nap?
Yeah, apparently it's hard to do, but it's just like, but you can do it. And you're telling me the only person in the history of the world that was turned into a demon that had the strength of will to not eat people is this one little girl? All right. Okay.
The more I learn about this anime, the more confusing.
That's why I said I'm not going to say it's good. I'll just say it's very pretty. I like the artwork and the animation is great. And the kid who falls asleep and then just does one move over and over again while he's asleep is amazing. I like that kid. He's my favorite character. He just, it's too scary. I'll pass out. And he passes out and his like unconscious body like takes his sword and just like does the move all over the place. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay, that does sound like a dope ass.
Like, I like him. Like, he's the cool guy. Other than that, I don't like anybody else. Well,
I mean, there's the guy with the boar head.
The boar head is okay, but like, it's kind of weird. I don't really understand it. I like when they gave him 2 new swords because he has like katanas and he like cut little rivets in them so they could tear through people as opposed to slice through them, which is not a good way to do that. And at first it's like, oh, well, these are the only swords he has. He lives in the forest. He's like a wild man. So he just found these broken swords and that's just what he uses. And it's like, okay, fine. But then they give him 2 brand new katana blades and he takes a rock and just breaks them so he has the cutting stuff on them again. And I was just like, that's amazing. Oh man, that show is weird. So feel free. Demon Slayer, rock and roll.
I'm gonna give it a peep.
You gotta watch it.
But I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring us all back around to TTRPGs.
Yes.
And I am going to ask you the question that I have asked every guest that has come on this show.
Got it.
if you've played tabletop games long enough, you have probably had an encounter with somebody that is a black hole of fun at the table. Mm-hmm. Somebody that if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience at the table would increase 1,000-fold. So, Nerdy, do you have a that guy story for us?
Ooh, do I? Do I have a that guy story for you? In fact, I have a that guy's story for you. So some of you know I play Dungeons and Dragons. I have like whole songs about it. You could look it up online, listen. And so I NurD and -T, just in case any of you listen. So I have fans who like sometimes they'll be like, oh hey, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons? And I DM a lot just because I enjoy doing it, but I don't get to play as often. Everybody who DMs knows that. And so this person comes up to me, it's the struggle. And he's like, hey, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with me and some friends? This is a fan. And I'm like, and he's like, this is the day we play. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, like I will play. Thanks for inviting me. Like I usually don't like go to fans and play, but like, you know what? Sure. Like you're close. Like it's awesome that you invited me. I'm all right. And he tells me, all right, so just so you know, it's an evil campaign.
Oh, God.
And that's my first red flag. The guy's very nice, but he tells me it's an evil campaign. So it's where all the characters are evil. And I'm like, all right, okay. Like usually evil campaigns are not great. Like they're not cool. But like, all right. And so I roll up this character. I am a Yuan-Ti cleric who is a mob doctor. So my whole bit is that I am socially because like you like the whole the mythos around Yuan-Ti is that they are like sociopaths essentially. Functioning sociopaths, they're like snake people. So it's like I am evil by default, as in like I don't care. So I that is why I'm evil. I don't necessarily like playing specifically like I like doing evil things characters because it's like it's hard to get into that. So It's like, but a sociopath who is being paid to patch these people up by the people he works for. All right, I can make that work. I can find that. So I make this character and I show up to this group. And it's 4 guys. And right away, like you get this energy when you walk in the room. You're like, this is a little odd. This is a little odd to play this game. And one of them looks me dead in the eyes. And this is trigger warning for everybody, this whole story. So you're gonna hear some stuff, and it's not fun and not cool at all. And he's just like, I'm like, hi, my name's Matt. I'm super excited to play with you guys. And he's just like, my character is a pedophile. I look at him and I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? And he's like, my character is a pedophile. He's an elf druid. He's a pedophile. And I was like, oh. And then so I try to rationalize it. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, so you mean your character is an elf that like has romantic relationships with humans because of the age gap, you're considered a pedophile within your community. Like I'm trying to like find a way for this to make some sort of sense.
Right, where he's not saying what he's saying.
He's saying what he's saying.
No person would say that. And when he looks at me, he goes like, "No," I like no, like children, like kids. And I look at him. I just give them the because when people do something like that, look at that. Yeah, that's the face. When people do something like that, there's 2 things you can do. You can do the outrage, which is real. And I knew that that's what he wanted to be this shocking, like, oh my God, how could you possibly do this? He wanted that out of me. And I literally just looked at him and I said, all right. Like I give you nothing. I'm not gonna
sell it.
I'm not selling that at all. You're not gonna get anything from me. I'm not gonna act like it's like the most horrible thing I've ever heard. And I'm just gonna, and I'm like, here I am in the stranger's home. I don't know any of these people. Like, all right, like I was like, I'm gonna stick. I want to see how bad this is. So I'm sitting here, and so this dude's a pedophile. Like, and is reveling in it. Like his whole thing is like he's a druid and he tricks kids by becoming like a pony or something. That's his bit. And there's no overarching plot to the storyline. There's no like a big bad good guy. There's no like a thing. It's just like, and I'm coming in the middle of whatever they were already doing. So you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know anything about these characters. And then like there's this other guy, and he's just like, I use charm person and things like that to like assault women.
No.
And I'm looking at the DM, and I'm looking back at the table, and I'm looking at the DM, and I'm just like, this is really bad.
This is what you invited me to.
And I'm looking at him like, do you know me? Like, do you know me? Oh, like, why did you think that? Like, I get it. Evil campaigns. If you want to run a Suicide Squad game where all your people are bad and you're forced to save the world because otherwise there's like negative consequences to you personally, so all of your characters are evil. There's a version of that can be fun and interesting and like a fun game. But I have yet to see an evil campaign that has ever done anything good. Like it always devolves into this.
Well,
and so
this
dude
there's
is
no
like
storyline and there's no plot. It's just people being shitty to other people, and we deal with that enough in like real life.
So it was two. So the one guy was a pedophile. The other dude was a sex was a rapist. Like, I have no other way of saying it. Like he was, and then there was another dude who was trying to be like just a sellsword who didn't care either way about what was going on, but like clearly was like tickled the pink by all the stuff that was going on.
Reveled in the mayhem sort of deal.
Yeah, and I was sitting, like I said, I didn't say anything. I know so that I was just like I really, and honestly and truly, my instinct was to get up and leave, to take all my shit and be like, hey, this was disgusting. I am going to, but I said to myself, I was like, I want to see, I want to sit, because as a dude, as a man, as a male identifying person, it is important for me to not turn away from that. It is important for me to look at it, see it. I'm sitting there like, I'm going to take this all in, because when people tell me that they don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons because of people like this, I can't pretend like it doesn't exist. I can't be like, oh, no. So I sat there for the whole 2 hours we were there. And I didn't say much. Like, I rolled my dice. I didn't engage. I just sat there and I let them I allowed them the space to be as evil as they wanted to be, for me to be able to then turn around. I was like, I'm never playing with you guys again.
And at no time did any of them like the thing that really like everything that you're telling us shows that these people were out there. But the fact that they invited somebody to their table and didn't even consider to check in.
Yeah.
Like,
never once.
When did you ever think that safety tools would come into play at this table?
Look, listen,
you're giving them way too much credit.
But even still, though, but you're right, though. But you're right. Like, they don't you. First of all, just by listening to my content, you should know that there are certain things that you'd be doing here that I'm not about.
Yeah.
But then, like, the fact that and this is what when I tell other men and I tell other people, it's like, hey, there is a different level of energy that happens when they think that everybody around them is like-minded. Like when they think that there is no one who could be offended, and people that's why I gave them the space. That's why I didn't say anything, because I was like, you be as gross and as evil as you want to be. I know you want a reaction out of me, but I'm not going to give that to you. So you be as gross. They kept saying worse and worse and worse thing, because I'm usually the voice in the room that's like, yo, whoa, hold on. But I was like, if there is not someone to do that, and this is why it's so important for us as people, anybody really, like if you're playing a game or you're doing something and it's like you hear that, the reason why you have to say something is that if you don't, like I sat there and I purposely just let them go, the depravity of what comes out of people that aren't checked is so gross. And I was just like, and these are fictional people, obviously. They're fictional people. So there's a certain level of like, understanding of that context there. But like, even still, if you are
it's fictional people, sure, but they're still real people that are driving those actions.
Exactly.
So on some level, like,
it's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're entertained by that, because like, yes, it's fake. It is fake. But if it entertains you to think of the concept of a child being lured into the woods by like a purple pony that he is super excited about, you know, and then like, that's really messed up.
I mean, I think one of the things that's very helpful about this is that it puts it in context to people that we tend to deal with on Twitter, that it's just like safety rules, man. Well, it's just like, you know, we see that person online and we kind of just automatically pass our judgment without really thinking about what this person's table looks like. And it's like, this is a glimpse of what that table could look like.
That's why you do it. It's disgusting. I used to be that guy. In fairness, I used to be the guy who thought that safety rules was a lot. Because when I was playing 3.5 growing up, and I was playing with all high school boys, and they would say all manner of stuff to me, like racism, all the kind of stuff. Like, that was a part of the game. And they were the ones that taught me how to play. So in my head, I was like, this is just how the game is. Like, you are just going to be hurt or triggered by certain things. It's going to be gross and destructive, and you don't get a say. Like, you don't get a say. And then, so when people were telling me about like, here I have this form you fill out about what like is green light and what's not for you. I remember the first time I got something like that, in my head, while I didn't say it out loud, in my head I was like, this is dumb. Like, this is unnecessary. Like, this is not how the game works. Like, you just gotta, like, you get what you get and you don't have a fit. What's wrong with you? And then after having that experience, I remember saying to myself, that's why. That's why. Is because if no one's taking the time to make sure, you're going to have these horrible things happen and there is no recourse, because as soon as you hear it, it's done. Like, it is in you from that point forward. So it's just like, now I'm a very big champion of those. I'm like, yo, like, we're going to have a session 0. I'm going to tell you exactly what I plan on doing. Like maybe not all the secrets, you know what I mean? Like, but like, are you cool with this? Like, are you all right with this concept? These concepts coming to play in your game? It is necessary. It is, at this point, it is as necessary as dice, in my opinion. It really needs to be a part of your table, period.
Absolutely. Every player should be empowered to stop the train if it's going in a direction that is harmful or detrimental to anyone at the table, not just them. One of the things that I've seen is that a lot of the times the people that are being affected by what's happening at the table are so in it that they themselves don't have the means to hit the brake. And it's part of the party's job to not only look after themselves, but to look after each other. And if I could look across the table and see that somebody that I'm playing the game with has a look on their face that's like actively like, this is not awesome, I have an obligation to stop the train or to check in on them, which is why the O check is so powerful. Is the O check is, hey, are you okay? And even if you get an O back, if you feel it in your soul that they just don't want to stop the experience, I have had times where I was just like, you said that you're okay and I believe you, but just in case, I'm pulling the brake, and if anybody has a problem with it, you blame me because I pulled the brake. Yeah, because we're not doing this. We're not hurting somebody.
It's a lot.
That's absolute. Yeah,
it needs to be. It needs to be a standard, I think, among like. Granted, like, obviously it's your table. Do whatever you want. But like, in my head, I'm sitting there going like, even if you think that you know all your friends' stuff, have a session 0, even if you don't want to do a form. Maybe that's too formal for you. Maybe that makes you maybe that's, at least have a session 0 and be like, hey, everybody, this is what I plan on having. Some stuff having happen. Is that cool? Is that all right? Is that okay with you? Because you never know what someone else is going through. You never know what's happened to them in the past. You never know like what they are struggling with, what fears they have, and like, while Dungeons and Dragons can be an amazing tool to like confront some of those things in a safe and healthy environment, it can also be very damaging because we're asking you to invest in your character. We're asking you to care and put yourself into them. So if you're going to have good role-playing moments and good character moments, you also have to remember that these people are tethered to these beings, these fictional beings. They're tethered to them emotionally. So like if something happens to them, we want them to feel it. And if what happens to them is horrible or beyond description, then it's like you're doing that to them in a way. And you have to be careful with that sort of stuff. You never know what someone else is going through. So it's almost a absolute in any game that I play.
I mean, and the other thing is like I can't imagine and this is me being judgmental. I understand that. I'm just gonna take that L, but I can't imagine the mindset of somebody that has the choice of being anything that they want to be. Mm-hmm. You can be anything that you want to be, and the choice that you pick is a pedophile. Like, I don't want to be at a table with you, buddy.
Across all of fantasy and space and time.
Every single character archetype you could choose. Everyone. And I'm not even talking like Hisoka from like Hunter x Hunter, kind of like it's alluded to, but like it's not really what's going on. You know what I mean? Right. Hunter x Hunter, that character makes me feel uncomfortable. But even still, it's like, oh, he's a killer. He wants to kill them. It just sounds like he wants to do other stuff, but really he wants to kill them. Like, you didn't even pick that. You didn't even pick that like as an illusion. No, you just went full on. Like, you put your pedal to the metal in that direction. And it's just like, yo, and this is the first time I've ever met you. Like, not even a hello first. Not even a hello, my name is. Like, it was the first thing he said to me. And I remember being like, this is that kind of table. This is like, and I was like, this is why people don't want to play. This is why people stay away. And that's really unfortunate. And I don't know a single game that has been improved by not having that conversation. So, I mean, like, you cannot show me a game that's been improved by not having a consent conversation beforehand.
I can tell you for a fact that most games die because of the lack of it, because that's how you end up building animosity. Most games don't die in one session. Most games die over a long period of time, where one person does something and they keep doing it, and rather than having a conversation and airing it out responsibly like reasonable adults, it just builds up resentment until it blows up. Or the game implodes in and on itself. In a game that is designed to allow people to be as rotten and as evil as that, the things that the levels of resentment and passive aggressiveness that could show itself there is just ridiculous.
And it just it horrifies me to think that even after I left and I messaged the dude and I was like, no, thank you. Like, I'm never doing that again. Like, that was so much. Like, it horrifies me to know that they didn't stop. Like, that wasn't the end of their game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just kept playing. And that's the kind of, and so, and when you see those type of guys at the game shop, they're the same type of men, and these are all men, as far as I was aware, and they expressed to me, like, the same type of people that are the ones accosting people in the store, the same types of ones that are like ruining the game, because they have their own world where they can just be as horrible as they want. And just like serial killers and pedophiles, in fairness, the fantasy eventually becomes not enough. And then they want to make real people's worlds worse. Like, that is it. Like, if you're that in on it, and like you're doing it in fantasy, and you're just and there's no stopgap for you. It, to me, I'm like, it's only a matter of time before you say something, you do something negative to somebody else in real life. And now it's not just fictional, people. Now you're doing stuff to real people in real life.
and there is a conversation to be had about character bleed. I know that I've picked up tendencies or thought processes for my characters as much as as much as I put into my characters like bits of me, I end up taking away bits of my characters as well. And luckily for me, it's been a majority positive experience. I had a character that I put in a lot of my alcoholic tendencies, and through confronting that through a character, I was able to better deal with that struggle on my own.
Yeah.
But on the flip, like if you're playing purposely deplorable, vicious, unconscionable characters, like you're something is going to stick.
Yep.
And that's worrying.
It's worrying. And that's what I like, be careful. Be aware of what table you're going to. And if they don't have a consent form or some sort of consent conversation when you're joining that game, don't join it. Like I there's so many games out there that it is not, you will not be missing out. You will not be missing out. And if their whole thing is like, oh, we won't accommodate you, there's a game that will, and you will have more fun at that game. So just completely write them off, because it's not worth it. Start your own game. Like, it is not worth it to play with someone who might like turn around and do something horrible to you, because they will, and it will happen if that's the thing. So just get away from them as far as you can.
A table full of red flags.
Yep, it was a red flag table. It looked like just Tenement Square. It was bad. Not good.
That's what we're calling that guy experience, the red flag table.
Red flag table. So if you're wondering, there it is. And if you're one of those people and you happen to watch Morning Ritual and you just heard me talk about your campaign, remember, like, just be better. Hopefully you are all better, because wow, was that a lot for me.
Like,
wow.
Like, I know it was like only alluded to, like what the actions of that, that character, like that person. If you're watching this show, stop watching my show. Like,
you are not welcome here.
Yeah, get out. Like,
straight up, like, I don't want
get out.
Like, if you follow me on Twitter, if you like anything that I do, I appreciate the support. Stop it. Like,
I don't need it.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
We're good.
I'm okay with losing fans over that. Like, I was like, yo, I'm just not gonna hang out with that ever again. If you never listen to another one of my songs, it'll be too soon.
Oh my God,
weird and gross that you wanted to do that, and like
that's really fucked up, buddy. That's really, like,
you.
Seriously, therapy, it helps. Do it. Like, after therapy, after some growth, you fuck around with the show, baby. I don't know. We'll
have a conversation.
We'll do an evaluation with, like, don't burn that bridge.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Repulsor. Rita Repulsor from the moon. From the moon. Chuck a spear from freaking lunar orbit.
The only there's another comment in chat earlier where it says the only acceptable all evil campaign is a table full of Rita Repulsors. From now on, that's it. That's all we're allowed.
I would play that game today. So there's a group of teenagers in a planet away. A planet away that we are going to.
Teenage adventurers with attitude.
Their day. We're just going to ruin their day. That's it. We're not going to take over the world.
No.
We're not going to try to kill anybody. We really aren't. We are literally just trying to hurt
We're just
them.
here to be spiteful.
Hurt that group of children.
I cast charm person on this person's crush, and I had to beat them all up. That's the evil. I want mustache twirling, like railroad track villainy. That's it. Because that's the only type of villainy that you can handle. I was trying to explain to someone. Oh no, you guys watch Peacemaker before we left?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was explaining to someone how you can play an evil character in a good aligned campaign, and it makes sense. It doesn't take away. this is a personal choice that people might not believe me. Vigilante in that show,
yes,
is an evil character that
Yes.
just happens to be aligned with good people at the time. Like he by his own admission is like fine with killing anybody and anyone at pretty much any time. Like he is fine with it.
Oh, yeah.
He is cool. He's all right. He is cowardly. He is he's also like he is cowardly when he knows he's gonna lose. Like when he's fighting judo master, he's like, all right, I'm gonna leave. Like I'm gonna leave. I don't wanna keep doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Ready to kill. Graffiti and murder are on the same level of bad to him, and it's just an excuse. Even when he's making fun of racists, he's not making fun of racists because being racist is bad. He's making fun of racists to get them to fight him so that he can hurt them. Like he doesn't care about that. He knows that you care about it, so he's going to use it, and he can justify his desire to kill people by only killing bad people. And he just so happens to be friends with a paladin that is changing their oath. You know what I mean? In the middle of their growth arc. You know what I mean?
Redemption arc.
Yeah, they're like
wow.
Peacemaker is a paladin.
Oath
Peacemaker
of Conquest paladin, probably.
Yeah, I think he's an Oath of Peace. Even that's not a thing. He's an Oath of Peace, and he's so violent at it. Like I'm going to kill anyone who doesn't do peace. And he's broken that oath. When he killed Rick Flag, he broke the oath because he actually wasn't doing stuff for peace. Now he was just following orders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, to add to this, the evil of Vigilante is actually highlighted as a useful tool.
Yep.
There's a point where Peacemaker can't get himself to do the violence that he used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird how like Vigilante's presence of straight up evil is calming and reassuring in that moment.
Yeah, he's like, here, let me help. Like, I got you, buddy. Like, I got this. Like, you're having a tough time, like right now, and I don't mind doing this horrible thing. Like, this is actually really fun for me. He's humming. Like, he's like having a good time because he likes killing. He enjoys doing it. So it's just like that's how. So for all of you out there who want to do an evil character, who think it's like, watch Peacemaker. It's a chaotic. I would say it's a chaotic good campaign, like maybe more lawful neutral than chaotic good, but like they are trying to protect the world from something. I'm not going to give spoilers. Trying to protect the world from something. You have a paladin who's changing their oath. They got him because they thought his oath was intact, but like he's actually an oathbreaker paladin. He's actually learning new power sets. He's learning new concepts. And then you have his like freaking rogue sniper friend who used to go out killing with him. Was super fun. And then you have Mastermind Rogue who's tricking people into doing stuff and like lying and doing all the other stuff. And then you have a fighter, and then you have Artificer. You have all these other, like it's clearly a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
I didn't even put that together, but you're right. But they even break it down where like Vigilante is talking to Peacemaker, and he's just like, do you think that I enjoy when I have no other choice but to stab a man because he's a criminal? Do you think that gives me any kind of thrill? And Peacemaker goes, no. And Vigilante's like, of course it does. I love
it. I love killing people. He just he is evil. He is an evil character, but because of the nature of what they need to do and his devotion to Peacemaker as his friend, it is played for like positive. He's essentially a cat, a human cat, because cats are evil. They're the evil that we love. They will kill things literally for enjoyment and give it to us because they think that we would like that. Like they are just evil and we love them and they love us. And that's it. And we don't care. But if they were bigger, they would eat us. They're not, so we love them. But if they were bigger, they would eat us.
Yo, you know what? that's even reflected in Peacemaker 2 because Eagle keeps doing that.
Yeah, Eagle keeps killing things.
I brought you this.
Yeah, he keeps throwing the dead because there are certain animals that are, by our standards, ruthless, efficient killers, and that's all they do. And they have no qualms about doing it, and they're just like, yeah, I'm not bound by your morality as such. I am just, but I like you, and for whatever reason, because either you fed me or you're friends with me, in the case of Vigilante, I am cool with murdering everybody around you, but just not you.
Yet.
And that's it. Yet. As long as we're friends. As long as we stay friends. And so, if you ask me if Vigilante might be a villain in season 2, if he survives, I should say. I'm not going to give you a spoiler for the season 1. But if Vigilante survives to season 2, should he be a really great villain? I think so. I think that the road that Peacemaker is on might eventually cause them to be at odds.
You know what else this show did very well, which this is a slippery slope. So don't
say the opening sequence, because it's the best opening sequence since Arcane
of all time, maybe. but no, what this show did well was its use of racist and it just really some horrible shit. There's like some really horrible shit in there, and I think what it did was it showed the different levels of evil.
Yeah. The evil has a lot of flavors in that show, and what it does, which I think that Marvel shies away from because it's owned by Disney, and Disney doesn't want you thinking too much about things, is that they don't shy away from racism. So in the DCEU, there are white supremacists. In the Marvel universe, there aren't. There's Hydra, a fictional evil group that has like evil intentions. I was talking about that real quick. I know we've been talking for a long time, but let me talk about this real thing. My favorite seed in all of MCU. This is all of it. In the whole everything, even Black Panther. This is my favorite scene. It's in Captain America and the First Avenger. We see Nazi officers walking through the Hydra base, reprimanding Red Skull for his fringe science and his weird stuff.
And they melt.
And Hitler's pissed. Hitler is pissed, and he is coming, Red Skull. You better get your act together. And Red Skull's like, really? Should I? They're like, yeah, Hitler's never going to stand for all this. And they don't actually say Hitler. I think they say the Fuhrer. But it doesn't matter. They're just like, the Fuhrer's not going to stand for this and all what you're doing because he's pissed that you're taking all these resources. And Red Skull's like, oh, no, am I stealing resources from Hitler? Oh, well, guess what? I'm going to take over the world. They say, hey, Germany's on this map. What the frick? Wait, you're trying to take over the whole world? He's like, yep. And then he kills them. He shoots him with a laser and kills them. And he melts, and he looks at the other guy. He's like, Hail Hydra. And I remember that scene. I was like, who's the good guy? Who am I rooting for in this scene? Because these Nazis, because I remember watching the movie going like, yeah, Red Skull, you better watch out. Hitler's coming for you. And I was like, wait a minute. Whose side am I on? Whose side am I? Is Hitler? Because the Red Skull is trying to kill everybody across the board. Like, he doesn't care about race. He doesn't care about creed. He was like, I want to rule the world. And I'm the best. But all of his members are Nazis. They're just Nazis that have decided that he's the best guy. And he was a Nazi because he thought that he was the best guy. So it was just like, but then it's just like, so am I rooting for Red Skull? This racist sociopath who just wants to take over the whole world? Or am I rooting for Hitler? Disney, what do you want me to do? Why did you put this scene in here? What was I supposed to take away from this? Should I hope that Hitler comes through and shuts down this operation? Am I rooting for Hitler to come in? This is odd. It's odd that you've put this in here. and I will watch. And watching the Red Skull killed as many Nazis on screen as any other character in the MCU.
I think the Red Skull might have killed more Nazis than Captain America in that.
Like, we don't see Captain America killing Nazis. We see him like hitting him, and like his rescue scene from things. We see him do it, but it's like it goes the amount of people who've killed Nazis. Captain America, one, easy, should be an easy win, and then the next is Red Skull, and then no one else. And then no one else. Everyone else is just, it goes Captain America killing Nazis, Red Skull coming in second, and then no one else.
Now you want to turn that on its side and really be freaked out? Let's look at how many heroes have killed POCs. We start with Iron Man.
Iron Man is in the first movie. Well, we don't actually know the amount of POCs that Clint killed. We actually don't know how many people Ronan killed. We know it's a lot.
Okay, you know what? It's probably Clint.
You mean the cultural appropriation Power Ranger?
This motherfucker went to Japan dressed up as a ninja.
He
killed.
He dressed up like how rude. How extra rude is that?
Yeah.
You could have stayed Hawkeye.
Not only did he do that, he dressed up.
That's like going and killing black folks in blackface. Like that. Like you mother
looking like Sambo running around shooting black people. Oh no.
You son of a bitch.
That's fucked up. That's actually really bad.
I didn't think about that. Oh,
that's so funny. Yep. That's real. That's what happened. That's what happened. We can say whatever
we just gave a Disney Plus show to.
What happened. That
this motherfucking dressed up as a ninja went to Japan to kill a bunch of Asian people. That's the meanest thing. Oh no!
And he got a big old Japanese sleeve too. Like you know what I mean? Like he got like a sleeve tattoo.
Yeah.
Like the dude was like the dude really went off the deep end of the cultural appropriation train.
It was like the world's worst midlife crisis.
Yeah. Oh man, he could have stayed Hawkeye for all of that. He wouldn't have had to do. He could have. No one was stopping him. No one even knew he was doing it.
I mean, I want you to really think about what had to take place. This motherfucker had to sew a suit. He sat behind a sewing machine, or even worse, had it custom ordered.
He's on Etsy. I need a suit to kill people of color. I'm very sad that my family is dead. Could you please give me a suit so I can kill all of these people? It's like Etsy shop. I got you. Here you go. Here's a ninja suit.
I mean, if you look at the sword he had, because in the TV show they feature it, it's not a regular sword. This motherfucker like collapses.
It's like a thing you have to get. It's custom, and everyone knew the suit was his too. They didn't just say it's a ninja suit and we don't know who it belongs to. They said this is the suit that belongs to Ronan. There's only one. This is the suit.
Some sort of black market Etsy dealer that just makes super suits.
That's why I like in Invincible, the tailor is one of my favorite characters in that whole movie, that whole franchise universe. He works out of a strip mall and he just makes super suits. And for villains and heroes, he is purely Switzerland. His job is to make super suits. That's it. He makes costumes and that's all he does.
Voiced by the incomparable Mark Hamill. I love it.
I love the tailor. Give me a whole tailor show where it's just like, on Wednesday, I made Superman's shirt, and then on Tuesday, I fixed up Lex Luthor's battle armor thing. And I don't care as long as the check clears. Like, I am not about what you guys do outside of the store. Like, I'm the guy.
I just am really passionate about fashion.
I'm past in Edna mode. Him and Edna mode from Incredibles are just like hanging out, being like, you know, these people are crazy. She's like, yeah, I know, but I love fashion, man. What am I supposed to do?
This is my passion. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, if you think about it, it's as high a tier you can go in fashion as possible. So yeah.
I design for gods. Amazing. I think that's literally what Edna says. That's a line from The Incredibles. Yeah.
Because that's what she says. She's got so bored with regular fashion.
These prissy with the puffy lips and I should design for gods.
Like that's so real.
That's such a good line.
Yeah.
Like so, it's just like, yo, that's why.
How have we not got the Edna mode show?
An origin story about her just like making people's costumes.
I don't know.
I love it.
All right, so we are almost at the 4-hour mark, so we're gonna wind it down here. This has been one of my favorite episodes. I gotta tell you. Which usually means I'm gonna bully you into coming back at some point.
I love it.
So yeah, I've been one of your hosts, Noir.
We have one more question to do.
Oh, did I forget a question?
God Emperor.
God Emperor.
Yeah.
So nerdy. You are God Emperor of the TTRPG community for one entire day. If you snap your fingers, Wizards of the Coast disappears. If you snap another finger, another company becomes as big as Wizards was. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You got one day.
Unlimited budget.
Oof. Okay, I got one day. Unlimited budget. I am. Oof, man, I got so much. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, first and foremost, I am going to be first of all source books for all games are going to be printed, have be available to be printed out in any language that can be written down. That's the first one. Equal access to all TTRPG materials. I think that's super interesting and it needs to happen. So there's that. Outlaw putting dice in your mouth. You're not allowed to do it. If someone putting dice in your mouth, I'm coming
That's
after
right.
you. The team shows up at your house and they
going to jail.
You're going to jail. Let's see. Yes, exactly right. I think I would like to see. I really like the game Masks. I don't know if you guys have played Masks New Generation. I think that's such a cool mechanic. I would push them to more prominence. I think I would raise their profile across all gaming. I like that gaming system.
Okay. Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah, Powered by the Apocalypse. I do that. Ooh. What else would I do? I would give fighters in Dungeons and Dragons another feat at 5th level, because just getting 2 attacks is lame, and they should be able to. If one person gets the ability to like rip time and space asunder, and you just get ability to attack twice, I feel like that's super lame. So I give them another feat at 5th level, just cause, like, or another ability for improvement. Like you have to be better at running around fighting people if you're gonna stand next to literal gods. Like, so, like, that's what I would do.
Ooh, okay.
Hit. Action.
Yeah. Hit. All right. We all did what we were supposed to do.
Meanwhile, the wizard has stopped time.
It's like lasers everywhere.
Bonk.
And then I would make consent forms 100% mandatory in all games. If you're going to buy a thing, you have to do that. Even if it, like I said, even if it ends up everybody being like, I'm cool with everything, you have to have the conversation before you start. You have to at least know that you're coming into this willingly and understanding everything that's going on. And then, God Emperor of all TTRPGs. I don't know. I'm going to Gen Con, so I don't even know if I should say so people might not like me anymore if I say some stuff.
Bring it on.
I will say that. I will say this. As God Emperor of all TTRPGs, I would highlight and bring to the mainstream prominence more diverse groups of gaming that people could enjoy, so that everyone could see themselves represented more consistently and not considered guest spot only material. That is what I will say as my final decree.
I can't think of a single show.
That is what I will decree. And if it affects, and it shouldn't affect anything, because what I said was I would build these other things up. And if that just so happens to take away from other shows because that's the case, then just so be it. I would not put any other things down. I would just bring everything up over here.
Bring up that level.
Yeah, it's here. Let's move it over here. No one's being moved down. Everyone's just being moved up.
Yeah.
Subliminal shot.
That's my hot take. I gotta get out of here before they find me.
FBI open up.
Oh man.
Okay, well, you know what? That's as dope a spot to wind down.
There you go.
As any. We not saying any names. We just want to grow the brand. We just want room for more than one PLC at the table, baby. We don't want to go through the carousel.
Exactly. Oh man.
Remember not too long ago when people pretended to give a shit about black people and Twitch had the black people carousel and then they gave up on it 2 weeks in?
Yep.
Love that.
Yep. It was fun. We all enjoyed ourselves. We all had a great time.
White people were wild out this Black History Month. I don't know what happened. I don't know what got in the water.
They were ready to go. We used all of our chips in 2020 with those black screens on Instagram.
I've been your host, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as TheNoirEnigma. That's Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. In about 2 hours, you can find me over on Gilding Lights, Satine Phoenix's channel, for Eclipsia, a game that I'm playing. And your other host,
Hi, I'm Anita. You can find me here most often, either in front of the camera or behind the scenes. We've got shows Monday through Thursday. Come check us out. It's gonna be cool. Yeah. Stuff. Things.
Yeah, stuff.
And we've got our guest.
Yes, that is myself. My name is NurD. That's NUR-D. You can find me all over the internet. If you're listening to music, that's exactly where you go. NUR-D to find me all over the place. My newest project, Just for Fun, has released. It's a lot of cool stuff. Check out the song TPK if you want to get some fun hip hop, Dungeons and Dragons references. Also, you can find me on all social media at NurD Rocks, NURD Rocks, like multiple Dwayne Johnsons. It's really easy to remember.
I've thrown all the links for you in chat.
Sign off. Shit's on fire. This has been another episode of Morning Ritual. NurD, I am going to bully you into being more stuff.
Oh no, I'll come back. We still got more stuff to talk about.
We got more stuff to talk about, and I need to be in the game with you now. You know what? If we're in multiple projects together, we give people an excuse to get us mixed up.
There it is. Make sure you all check out Noir, as they are going to be at performing at a bunch of different places. Make sure you have them. Make sure you have them just hit all the songs. Ask them to rap their songs everywhere.
Don't do that, because I'm gonna have to start studying all of your fucking. I wrote down word for word that Bo Burnham one, because I covered it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to start doing that with all of them. All right, but that is us. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine. You're good.
No,
That's
fine.
our show, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Thank you so much, Nerdy. This has been an absolute blast. We are gonna go on a raid to someone. Who we got that we can come to?
Let's go say hi to Total Party Kiss.
Heck yeah. Send some love
we got
that
some
direction.
friends over there. We got Art Clip.
Who is our guest next week?
Ooh,
oh, hey, look
Sloan
at that. It's almost like I planned it.
Almost like planned it. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by and hanging out with us. But until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.